Success in life doesn't come from waiting for opportunities to find you or hoping for things to magically fall into place. It's built through consistent effort, discipline, and most importantly, focusing on yourself. If you want to succeed, you have to be willing to put in the work, day in and day out, with no excuses. The journey to success is not a straight path, and it certainly won't happen overnight. But if you commit to focusing on yourself, your growth, your goals, your mindset, you'll start to notice the change. In this video, we'll dive deep into why focusing on yourself is one of the most important steps you can take to create the life you want. We're going to talk about the power of patience, how to stay disciplined even when motivation fades, and the importance of pushing your limits every day. You'll get real, actionable advice on how to stay focused on your personal growth, even when things get tough. If you've ever felt like giving up, or if you've questioned whether your efforts are truly making a difference, this video is for you. You'll discover how to trust the process, even when you can't see the results yet. It's about taking control of your life, one step at a time, and making progress every day. Stay with me, and I'll show you how focusing on yourself is the key to unlocking your full potential and achieving lasting success. Are you ready to take control of your future? Let's get started. Chapter 1. Start today with a clear vision of your future. You don't get to succeed in life by accident. You get there by design, and that design begins with vision. Not a vague hope, not a wish, not an idea that pops into your head once in a while and disappears the moment things get hard. A real vision is a decision, it's clarity, it's direction. It's something you can see so clearly in your mind that it pulls you forward even when nothing around you is working. When your world is chaotic and your mind is full of noise, a clear vision becomes your anchor. It grounds you. It brings your attention back to what matters. Most people drift through life without this kind of clarity. They react to their circumstances. They let the world decide what they should do, and then they wonder why they feel lost. But if you're going to succeed in life, you have to begin by knowing exactly where you're headed. You must know what kind of life you're building and why it matters to you. That kind of inner clarity is where everything begins. Start today, not tomorrow, not next week. The clock doesn't stop for anyone. The longer you wait to define your vision, the more time you waste trying to find meaning in things that won't last. Time doesn't ask if you're ready. It keeps moving. So the only way to gain control of your life is to decide what you want out of it, right now, not in theory. In specific detail, most people don't know what they want because they've never been forced to sit in silence and ask themselves real questions. They keep themselves busy, distracted, comfortable. But growth doesn't come from comfort. Growth comes from clarity, and clarity begins with the courage to look inward. Ask yourself, what do you want your life to stand for? What do you want to wake up for each morning? What does your definition of success actually look like? Be honest. This is not the time for vague answers. You need specifics. You need something real. If you want to live a strong life, you must build it on a strong foundation, and that foundation begins with purpose. If you don't define your purpose, someone else will define it for you. That's how people end up working jobs they hate, living lives that drain them, and chasing goals that don't even belong to them. They didn't choose with intention. They followed the noise. They listened to opinions louder than their own inner voice. When you take time to define your vision, you begin to see your time differently. You start valuing your energy. You stop giving it away to things that don't move you forward. You begin saying no to things that don't serve your higher goals. This is how discipline becomes natural, not through force, but through clarity. When you know what you're working toward, you don't need motivation to show up. You show up because you're committed to something bigger than temporary comfort. Success begins long before you see the results. It begins when you decide to focus your time and effort on building something meaningful. That meaning comes from vision. Without it, you're just staying busy. And staying busy isn't the same as making progress. The person who works 12 hours a day without direction will always lose to the person who works with purpose, even if it's only for a few hours a day. Focus is more powerful than force. Vision gives you focus. It's your compass when life becomes chaotic. It gives your struggle a reason. It turns your pain into power. It gives your effort a destination. Sit down today and write it all out. Define your future in exact terms. Don't hold back. Don't edit yourself. Don't write what sounds impressive. Write what's real. Describe what a successful life looks like for you in detail. What kind of person are you becoming? What kind of habits do you live by? What does your day look like when you're living at your highest level? What kind of work are you doing? Who are you spending time with? What impact are you making? Write it all down. Create the blueprint for your future. Make it visible. Make it real. Once your vision is clear, it's time to reverse engineer the steps. What needs to happen in the next 5 years for that vision to become reality? Break that down into yearly goals, then monthly goals, then weekly actions. Clarity is nothing without execution. Vision gives you the path, but your daily actions build the road. If you don't translate your vision into consistent habits, it remains a fantasy. The goal is to turn that vision into a living experience, something you wake up and step into every single day. That won't be easy. It never is. There will be setbacks. There will be days when you feel like you're not getting anywhere. You'll feel tired. You'll feel tempted to give up. But that's when vision becomes most important. That's when it reminds you why you started. If your why is strong enough, you'll find a way. People who lack vision quit early. They can't see the reward behind the effort. So they stop. They give up. They make excuses. But people with a strong vision keep going. Not because it's easy, but because it matters. And that's the difference between surviving and succeeding. You have to make your vision stronger than your excuses. Stronger than your fears. Stronger than your desire for comfort. Every time you choose short-term ease over long-term purpose, you weaken your future. So protect your vision. Guard it. Feed it every day. Remind yourself of it constantly. Write it down. Read it each morning. Keep it front and center in your life. When you build your days around your vision, you become unstoppable. You don't waste energy on things that don't matter. You don't look for validation. You're not distracted by comparison. You're too focused on building your own life. When you focus on yourself and your vision, you take your power back. You stop waiting for circumstances to change. You stop blaming others. You become responsible. You become the architect of your future. That doesn't mean you won't face hardship. You will, but the difference is you won't be defeated by it. You'll grow from it, because your vision will keep you grounded in purpose, even when things fall apart. And that kind of strength can't be taken away from you. It's earned, it's built, it's developed through daily focus and discipline. You don't have to figure everything out today. You just have to start. Start by knowing what kind of life you want. Start by writing it down. Start by aligning your actions with your vision. You don't need permission. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need the courage to begin. Every great transformation begins with that first step. Don't underestimate it. Don't wait for motivation. Motivation fades. Vision endures. Build your future one decision at a time. Start with clarity. Follow it with commitment. Your vision will evolve over time, and that's okay. What matters most is that you stay connected to it. Revisit it often. Adjust it as you grow. Keep it aligned with your values. Keep it honest. A vision is not about impressing others. It's about becoming who you were meant to be. That path won't look like anyone else's, and it's not supposed to. Don't copy. Don't chase what isn't yours. Focus on what truly matters to you. That's where fulfillment lives. This is your life. You don't get another one. Don't waste it chasing things that don't align with who you want to become. Success isn't found in external rewards. It's found in waking up each day and living in alignment with your vision. It's found in progress, in discipline, in knowing that you're becoming someone stronger, wiser, and more grounded every day. That's real success. That's what lasts. You already have what it takes. You don't need more time. You need more direction. You need to stop drifting and start designing. Begin with vision. Begin with clarity. That's the most powerful thing you can do for your future. Don't wait for life to give you a sign. This is your sign. Start today with a clear vision of your future and never look back. Chapter 2. Eliminate distractions that hinder your daily growth. Every minute you waste on distractions is a minute stolen from the life you could be building. This isn't about being busy. It's about being focused. It's about recognizing that your growth, your progress, your future, none of it happens by chance. It happens when you protect your time like your life depends on it, because it does. Most people never reach their potential, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they let distractions consume their attention. They scroll through their days. They bounce between apps, notifications, messages, and entertainment. They mistake movement for meaning and noise for necessity. But if you want to grow daily, if you're serious about creating real change, you must eliminate the distractions that are stealing your greatness. The first step is awareness. You can't change what you refuse to acknowledge. Most people live on autopilot, reacting to every ping and buzz, giving their attention to whatever feels urgent, not realizing that urgency and importance are not the same. Not everything that asks for your time deserves it. If you don't take control of where your focus goes, someone else will decide it for you. Every ad, every app, every algorithm is designed to hijack your mind. These aren't accidents. These are systems built to keep you addicted to low-value stimulation, while your real goals sit quietly in the background, waiting for you to remember them. That's the cost of distraction, not just wasted time, but wasted life. To grow, you must take your attention seriously. You have to recognize that focus is a form of power, and distractions are the enemies that weaken it. Growth requires depth, and depth requires silence. You can't do deep work while living in constant interruption. You can't build anything meaningful while checking your phone every few minutes. That habit is not harmless. It's a mental chain, and you don't break chains by pretending they're light. You break them by replacing them with structure, discipline, and purpose. Start by identifying the sources of your daily distractions. Be brutally honest. What do you reach for the moment you feel bored, stressed, or uncertain? Where does your attention go when you don't feel like facing what matters? Distractions often disguise themselves as comfort, but they're really avoidance. You're not just scrolling, you're escaping. You're not just watching, you're postponing. The more you do it, the weaker your focus becomes. And over time, your ability to be present, to think clearly, to push through challenges, it all begins to erode. Reclaim your focus by removing the noise. Turn off notifications that don't serve your goals. Put your phone out of reach when you're working. Use apps and tools that limit your screen time if you can't control it manually. Stop leaving your attention open to the world. Close the tabs. Log out. Be intentional about what gets your energy. This isn't about perfection, it's about creating space. Space to think. Space to act. Space to grow. Growth isn't found in reaction, it's found in stillness. The more you protect your time from distractions, the more you give yourself the chance to become who you're meant to be. Because when the noise fades, your inner voice becomes louder. And that voice, that clarity, that is where your strength lives. Distractions drown it out. They make you forget your priorities. They numb your awareness. But when you take them away, even for a short while, you remember what matters. You start living with direction again. Look around your environment. How much of it supports your growth? Is your workspace designed for focus? Or is it filled with temptation? Are your surroundings clean, organized and quiet? Or are they full of clutter, chaos, and endless openings for distraction? Your environment shapes your behavior. If you leave your growth to willpower alone, you will fail. Willpower is limited. Design is strategic. So redesign your space. Create boundaries that protect your attention. Make it harder to get distracted and easier to stay on track. There's also a deeper layer. Some distractions don't come from outside. They live inside you. Mental clutter, emotional noise, overthinking, doubt, fear. The kind of distraction that shows up as procrastination, perfectionism, or constant worry. You're doing one thing, but your mind is somewhere else. You're in the room but not really present. That's a distraction too. And if you want to eliminate it, you have to build habits that strengthen your awareness. Start your mornings with intention. Meditate, journal, or simply sit in silence before the world wakes up. Create mental clarity before the chaos begins. The more you train your mind to be still, the easier it becomes to focus. Discipline is the antidote to distraction. Not forceful, rigid discipline, but intentional, meaningful discipline that reminds you what you're here to do. Decide each day what your priorities are. Write them down, commit to them, keep them visible. When your day has a clear purpose, distractions lose their power. They become obvious. They don't tempt you the same way because you've already decided what matters most. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things consistently. Don't underestimate how much time is being stolen from you in tiny moments. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. It adds up. 1 hour lost to meaningless scrolling can't be recovered. That time could have been used to learn, to move, to grow, to build. It's not about being productive every second. It's about being conscious. If you choose to rest, rest fully. But don't confuse distraction with rest. One renews you. The other drains you slowly, without you even noticing. Pay attention to the kind of people you surround yourself with. Some people will feed your focus. Others will feed your distraction. If you're serious about growing daily, you need to protect your circle. Be around people who respect their time, people who value growth, people who aren't always running from boredom. That energy is contagious. If your friends normalize constant distraction, you'll absorb it. But if your circle is committed to clarity, effort, and direction, you'll rise with them. Also question your habits. What do you do automatically that doesn't serve you anymore? Habits run deep. Some of them were formed during moments of stress or escape. But if they don't align with your goals anymore, they must be restructured. Every time you reach for distraction, pause. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding? What am I really feeling? That simple moment of awareness can break the loop. Replace the old habit with one that brings you closer to your vision. Not all change has to be dramatic. Small adjustments, repeated daily, become life transformation. Understand this: distraction is not just the enemy of productivity. It's the enemy of presence. It pulls you out of your life and into a false world of stimulation and avoidance. But your power is in the present. Your growth happens in the moment you decide to stay with the discomfort, to keep working when it's boring, to keep moving when it's slow. That's where breakthroughs are born. Not in intensity, but in consistency. Distraction kills consistency. Eliminate it, and you unlock your full capacity. You must become ruthless about your focus. Ruthless about what you allow into your day. You don't need to consume everything. You don't need to answer every message. You don't need to know what everyone else is doing. Focused people look boring from the outside, but they're building lives of substance. They're not caught in the chaos. They've chosen depth. That choice separates the average from the exceptional. And the best part is, it's a choice available to you right now. When you remove distractions, you don't just gain time, you gain self-respect. You start to trust yourself more. You see that you're capable of sticking to your priorities. That confidence compounds, and over time, you become unstoppable. Not because you're doing more than others, but because you're doing what matters without being pulled in 100 directions. This is not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. You will be tempted, you will slip. That's part of being human. But each time you come back to focus, you strengthen it. Each time you catch yourself getting distracted and choose to redirect your attention, you reclaim your power. That's what builds discipline. Not in grand gestures, but in small daily decisions to live aligned with your values. Success doesn't belong to the smartest or the most talented. It belongs to those who can stay focused when the world demands their attention. It belongs to those who protect their time like it's sacred. Because it is. You don't get today back. What you do with it matters. Eliminate the distractions that are slowing you down. Choose clarity. Choose direction. Choose growth. Every single day. Chapter 3. Commit to constant learning and self-education every day. If you want to rise above the average and take full control of your future, then make daily learning your weapon of choice. Life doesn't reward those who wait for answers. It rewards those who relentlessly seek them. Your mind is either evolving or decaying. There is no neutral ground. If you're not educating yourself every single day, you're falling behind. In a world where information moves faster than ever before, your ability to keep up isn't just an advantage, it's a requirement. But real growth doesn't come from random information. It comes from intentional, focused self-education that sharpens your understanding, strengthens your thinking, and prepares you for challenges before they arrive. Success is not reserved for those with degrees, titles, or privilege. It belongs to the learners, the people who refuse to stay the same. The moment you decide to treat learning as a daily discipline, not just an occasional event, you begin the process of personal evolution. That process transforms your habits, expands your worldview, and prepares you for opportunities you once thought were out of reach. Education is not just about knowledge, it's about sharpening your perspective and giving you the tools to make better decisions in real time. Those tools build your confidence, and confidence built on knowledge is unshakable. This isn't about sitting in classrooms. This is about feeding your mind every single day with something that improves your life. It can be a book, a podcast, an article, a course, or even a deep conversation with someone who knows more than you. Every day is a chance to upgrade your mental software, but most people ignore it. They repeat the same thoughts, the same routines, the same behaviors, expecting life to change without changing how they think. That's a trap. You cannot build a new life with an outdated mindset. You must download new beliefs, new tools, and new insights. And you do that by committing to daily learning. Real self-education requires more than just consuming content. It's about applying what you learn. Knowledge without action is just noise. Wisdom is knowledge in motion. Every time you learn something new, ask yourself, how can I use this today? That question creates clarity. It turns theory into transformation. When you make learning practical, it becomes powerful. You start noticing patterns, making better choices, and seeing opportunities that others miss. Your awareness sharpens, your confidence deepens, and your growth accelerates. There's something powerful about being a student of life. It humbles you. It reminds you that there's always more to understand. Arrogance keeps people stuck. Learning keeps them growing. When you approach each day with curiosity, instead of certainty, you stay open to change. And growth lives in that openness. Life will constantly present you with challenges, and the more you've learned, the more equipped you are to respond with clarity instead of confusion. That's how self-education builds resilience, not by removing the obstacles, but by strengthening your ability to overcome them. You don't need hours each day to grow. You need intention. Even 15 focused minutes of deep learning can transform your mindset over time. It's not about how much you learn, it's about how often. Consistency compounds. 1 page a day becomes 30 books a year. 1 insightful podcast a day becomes hundreds of powerful ideas embedded into your thinking. It's not about binge learning, it's about steady, sustainable mental expansion that rewires your identity over time. And when your identity evolves, your entire life follows. Your environment matters. If you're surrounded by people who don't value learning, you'll start to normalize ignorance. If your friends mock books or tune out knowledge, you'll unconsciously lower your standards. But when you're around learners, when you exchange insights, recommend ideas and share strategies, you accelerate your growth. So build a circle where learning is the standard. Ask questions, challenge each other, trade recommendations. Learning becomes easier when it's part of your culture, not just your routine. Be careful not to confuse entertainment with education. Not everything that looks informative is actually helping you grow. Mindless scrolling through motivational quotes or half listening to videos while distracted isn't learning. That's just mental clutter, disguised as progress. True learning is intentional. It requires attention. You have to show up fully, even if just for a short time. Be present with what you're reading or listening to. Take notes. Reflect. Think critically. Learning without engagement is like eating without digesting. It doesn't nourish you. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you already know enough. The most dangerous mindset is believing you've arrived. The wisest people are lifelong students. They don't just seek new information, they seek new understanding. They study themselves. They study success. They study failure. They study patterns, and because of that, they grow faster, act wiser, and live more intentionally. You can either keep repeating what you've always done, or you can educate yourself into a new level of life. That's your decision. Commitment to learning builds something that can't be taken away from you: internal power. Trends change. Industries shift. The world evolves. But when you've developed a sharp, educated mind, you adapt. You pivot. you stay valuable. That kind of value comes from within, not from external titles or temporary wins. Self-education is the process of turning your potential into performance. It turns vague ambition into clear skill. It transforms hope into action. That's how you build real success from the inside out. Understand this: every day you don't learn something new, you've missed an opportunity to grow stronger. There's someone out there less talented than you, less experienced than you, but they're learning faster, and that will be the reason they surpass you. It's not about natural gifts anymore, it's about speed of adaptation. The ones who rise are not always the ones who start ahead, they're the ones who keep moving forward while others pause. And forward motion starts with daily learning. There will be days when you don't feel like it. That's when it matters most. Learning when you're tired builds stamina. Studying when you're uninspired builds discipline. Reading when it's easier to scroll builds character. You're not doing this for a reward, you're doing this to become a person who cannot be broken by circumstances. That strength is built by showing up for your growth every day, no matter how you feel. Make it personal. Learn about the areas of life that directly affect your path. Study your craft. Study human behavior. Study health. Study finances. Study communication. Study leadership. Every area you grow in becomes a tool in your arsenal. You don't need to master everything, but you do need to be constantly sharpening yourself so you're never caught unprepared. When you've trained your mind daily, you move with clarity when others freeze in confusion. Track your learning. Keep a journal. Write down what you learned each day. Reflect on how it's helping you. That process will keep you grounded. It will give you a visible record of your growth, and that's fuel for your self-belief. Most people don't grow because they don't realize how much progress they've made. When you track your learning, you prove to yourself that you're evolving. That proof becomes momentum. The world is noisy, and most of that noise is designed to distract you. But when you commit to daily learning, you rise above the noise. You start operating with a different level of insight. You think deeper. You act smarter. You move faster. You're not relying on hope, you're moving with strategy. That's how self-education separates you. It's the silent advantage that shows up when the stakes are high and others freeze. You've trained your mind to respond, not react. There's freedom in knowing that you're in control of your own growth. You don't have to wait for permission. You don't have to rely on anyone else to teach you. The tools are all around you. The question is whether you'll use them, whether you'll replace distraction with direction, whether you'll choose depth over comfort, whether you'll treat your mind like it matters. Because it does. Every breakthrough in your life will be connected to something you learned. Every improvement, every achievement, every new level you reach, it will all be linked to something you took the time to study, understand and apply. That's how powerful daily learning is. It's not a nice to have, it's your foundation. And the stronger the foundation, the higher you can build. So make the commitment, not just today, but every day. Learn something new. Apply it. Reflect on it. Grow from it. Let learning become part of your identity, not a task but a way of living. Because the person who learns every day will always be ahead of the person who doesn't. Not just in skill but in mindset, in strength and in success. That's the power of self-education. That's the path to becoming unstoppable. Chapter 4. Build mental toughness by facing challenges head-on. If you want to be unstoppable in life, you must stop running from what scares you and start facing it like your future depends on it, because it does. Mental toughness isn't something you're born with. It's something you earn by standing up when life knocks you down, by stepping forward when everything in you wants to retreat, and by choosing to grow through pain rather than escape it. Every challenge you face is a test, an invitation to sharpen your mind, deepen your discipline, and prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. And most people never unlock that power because they're too busy avoiding discomfort, waiting for the path to get easier instead of getting stronger. Your mind becomes powerful when you stop seeking comfort and start seeking challenge. That's where toughness is born, in the middle of hard moments, not in the absence of them. It's built through pressure, through resistance, through adversity. When life pushes against you and you push back harder, you're training yourself to become unshakable. It's not about pretending you're fearless. It's about facing fear and doing it anyway. That's how you build grit. That's how you develop that inner fire that refuses to quit. You don't develop strength in theory. You develop it in action. No book, no speech, no course will make you mentally tough unless you're willing to step into real situations that test your limits. Toughness is not a personality trait. It's a decision. It's a way of thinking that says, no matter what shows up today, I will not back down. It's a refusal to be broken by circumstances, and that refusal becomes your identity when you choose to face challenges instead of avoid them. The truth is, you can't grow stronger without struggle. You can't develop courage without fear. You can't build resilience without resistance. The very things you avoid are the exact things that would shape you into the version of yourself you admire. But that version doesn't come easy. It's forged in discomfort. It's earned in sweat, setbacks, and silent effort. If you want to unlock that version of you, stop wishing for easier days. Start preparing for them by embracing the hard ones. Every obstacle in your path is an opportunity to build mental muscle. When things don't go your way, when plans fall apart, when people disappoint you, when life hits you hard, you've been given a chance to train. Most people see obstacles as setbacks. Mentally tough people see them as reps. Every challenge is a weight to lift. Every setback is resistance that strengthens your character. Every hardship is a furnace that hardens your will. You don't escape difficulty by avoiding it. You escape weakness by embracing difficulty. You have to learn to stop negotiating with your emotions in the middle of pain. If you let your feelings dictate your actions, you'll never reach your potential. Mental toughness is built when you act despite discomfort, when you push despite fear, and when you commit despite uncertainty. That's how you rewire your mind to be stronger than your circumstances. Your emotions are real, but they're not always right. Your job is to feel them and keep moving forward anyway. Challenges will show you who you really are. When everything is easy, you can hide behind comfort. But when things get hard, when the pressure is real, when the path is unclear, when the odds are against you, that's when your true mindset is exposed. Are you someone who gives in, or are you someone who fights forward? That answer doesn't come from what you say. It comes from how you act when things get tough. If you want to be proud of the person in the mirror, then face your challenges with your chest up, your eyes clear, and your mind focused. You don't need to wait for motivation to act. You need discipline. You need a mindset that refuses to back down when things get inconvenient. Motivation is fleeting, but toughness is permanent. And toughness is built every time you choose discipline over comfort. Every time you wake up early when you're tired. Every time you keep going when you feel like quitting. Every time you choose effort over excuses. That's when your mental toughness grows. Not in the spotlight, but in the quiet moments when no one's watching. Face your problems with intensity. Don't tiptoe around difficulty. Don't delay decisions. Don't bury your head when things get complicated. Lean in. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen if I face this head on? You'll often find that the fear of the challenge is worse than the challenge itself. When you finally stop avoiding and start acting, you take your power back. And every time you take your power back, your confidence rises. That confidence becomes a shield, one that protects your mind when storms hit. Mental toughness isn't about being emotionless. It's about staying composed when your emotions are loud. It's about staying focused when your thoughts are scattered. It's about holding your ground when chaos surrounds you. That kind of composure is a skill. You earn it by practicing calm in the face of pressure. You build it by breathing through the panic instead of feeding it. You train it by solving problems instead of overthinking them. The more you practice, the stronger your calm becomes. And that calm becomes your superpower. You must start treating adversity like a training partner. It's not there to hurt you. It's there to build you. Resistance makes you stronger. Stress, when managed correctly, sharpens your performance. Challenges refine your mindset. Everything you're going through right now is preparing you for something bigger. But you only unlock that growth if you step up and face it. There's no growth in running. There's no strength in hiding. The reward is in the resistance. When you start facing challenges head-on, you become dangerous to anything that tries to break you. You stop being a victim of your circumstances. You start becoming the architect of your outcomes. And you don't need to conquer the mountain in one day. You just need to take a step, every single day, no matter how steep the climb is. That daily discipline of moving forward, even when it's slow, is what separates the strong from the weak. There's going to be pain either way. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The pain of action or the pain of avoidance. The mentally tough choose the pain that leads to progress. They don't look for easy, they look for growth, because they understand that life isn't about comfort. It's about becoming. It's about who you transform into through challenge, not who you remain by playing it safe. If you want a life that inspires you, stop asking for it to be easy, and start demanding more from yourself. Mental toughness will change every area of your life. In your career, it'll give you the edge to keep grinding when others give up. In your relationships, it'll help you stay grounded when things get heated. In your goals, it'll keep you consistent when motivation dies out. It becomes a force that moves with you everywhere, quietly, confidently, relentlessly. You won't have to talk about it. People will see it in your energy, in your work ethic, in your presence. Start by doing hard things on purpose. Wake up early, take the cold shower, make the difficult call. Sit with your discomfort. Don't just wait for challenges, train with them. The more you voluntarily face difficulty, the more you'll trust yourself when involuntary hardship arrives. And trust is everything. When you know you can handle hard things, you walk differently. You stop doubting yourself. You start stepping into pressure like you were built for it, because you are. Your mind is like a muscle. The more resistance you give it, the stronger it becomes. But just like the gym, growth doesn't come from one intense session, it comes from consistency. Daily reps, daily effort, daily decisions to face your fears, to confront your weaknesses, and to push through your limits. That's how you build unshakable strength, not overnight but over time, brick by brick. And understand this, no one's coming to save you. No one's going to do the hard work for you. If you want to be strong, if you want to be solid, if you want to be someone who can handle life on your own terms, then you must choose to become that person. That means showing up. That means staying focused. That means facing pain instead of numbing it. That means leaning into challenges until they become your advantage. The world respects strength, but more importantly, life responds to it. You don't rise by being lucky. You rise by being prepared. And preparation comes through challenge. The more you train your mind to be tough, the more you'll be ready when life turns up the heat. You won't panic. You'll perform. You won't break. You'll build. You won't fall. you'll rise. So face the next challenge head on. Don't flinch, don't fold, don't hesitate. Step into it, push through it, grow from it. And when you come out on the other side, you'll be stronger, sharper, and more powerful than you were before. That's how you build mental toughness. That's how you become the kind of person who doesn't just survive life, but dominates it. Chapter 5. Focus on progress, not perfection, for consistent improvement. Perfection is the enemy of progress, and if you keep waiting to get everything right before you take the next step, you'll never move at all. Most people are stuck not because they lack potential, but because they're paralyzed by unrealistic expectations. They tell themselves they can't start until everything is aligned, every detail is sorted, every plan is flawless. And in the meantime, time keeps passing, opportunities keep slipping, and confidence keeps shrinking. If you want to build a life that grows stronger with every day, you must stop chasing the illusion of perfection and start honoring the power of consistent progress. Progress is real. Progress is measurable. Progress builds momentum. Perfection is imaginary. It's a trap that keeps you spinning in circles, trying to control outcomes you can't control and fix things that were never broken to begin with. If you're obsessed with making everything flawless, you'll end up doing nothing at all. You'll hesitate. You'll overthink. You'll delay your own transformation. But if you focus on showing up, doing the work, learning, improving, adjusting, and repeating, you'll realize that the small, steady wins will take you further than any perfect plan ever could. The key to real growth is understanding that you will stumble, and that's okay. You will fail, and that's okay. You will make mistakes, and that's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of movement. Nothing evolves without action, and no action is ever flawless. If you can accept that and still move forward, you're already ahead of the people who are waiting for the perfect time to begin. The truth is, the perfect time doesn't exist. What exists is now. What exists is your willingness to start with what you have and make the most of it. You don't need to be perfect to get better. You just need to be committed. You just need to be consistent. You just need to be hungry to improve, even when the results are small. Progress isn't loud. It doesn't always come with applause. Sometimes it's invisible. Sometimes it's in how you think, how you bounce back from a setback, how you stay calm in the middle of stress, how you push through when you don't feel like it. That kind of growth won't show up in dramatic ways, but it builds a foundation that nothing can shake. If you want to reach your next level, stop measuring your success by how close you are to some perfect outcome. Start measuring it by how far you've come from where you started. Look at your habits. Look at your mindset. Look at the days you didn't quit. Those are signs of real progress, and that's what matters. It's not about looking flawless to others, it's about becoming more solid within yourself. Perfection is a mask. Progress is the real face of growth. Most people waste too much time comparing their early steps to someone else's highlight reel. They scroll through other people's wins and feel behind. But they forget that no one posts their doubts, their messy middle, their self-doubt, or their failed attempts. Everyone started somewhere. Everyone had to figure it out. Everyone had to grow through awkward, uncertain phases. You're not behind. You're just in the process. And the only way to get better is to keep moving. Fall in love with the process, not the end result. If you're only chasing the outcome, you'll burn out. You'll feel defeated when things don't go as planned. But if you commit to getting a little better each day, you'll realize that progress is a game you can actually win, one step at a time, one decision at a time, one improvement at a time. And when you stop obsessing over doing everything right, you'll free yourself to actually do something great. You must learn to respect the journey. Growth takes time. Mastery takes effort. Confidence is built through repetition, not perfection. You get sharper by doing. You get clearer by trying. You improve by making adjustments, not by waiting until you never make mistakes. The people who achieve the most aren't the ones who had perfect plans, they're the ones who showed up daily, learned through doing, and refused to give up when things didn't go smoothly. Think about how much energy you've wasted trying to make things perfect. Think about the opportunities you missed because you didn't feel ready. Now imagine where you'd be if you had just started. That should fire you up. That should remind you that your best future is waiting for you to take imperfect action. Every day you wait is a day you could have used to grow. Don't let fear of failure become the reason you stay stuck. Failure is part of the path. It's how you adjust, recalibrate, and become who you were meant to be. The pursuit of progress is about showing yourself that you can be disciplined, that you can stay focused, that you can build something meaningful without needing to get everything right the first time. And it's not about speed. It's about direction. You can move slowly, but if you're moving in the right direction, you're already winning. Speed doesn't matter when you're consistent. What matters is that you don't stop. Success doesn't happen in one giant leap. It happens in a series of small steps taken over and over again. The people who rise are the ones who learn to appreciate the grind. They don't need validation. They don't need everything to be easy. They just show up, do the work, and improve inch by inch. Over time, those inches become miles. Those quiet efforts become breakthroughs. That's how you transform, by building momentum through small victories, not by chasing unattainable ideals. If you want to dominate your goals, start by lowering the pressure you put on yourself to be perfect. Raise your standards for effort, not for flawlessness. Focus on what you can control, your consistency, your habits, your attitude. And when you mess up, which you will, don't spiral. Don't waste energy on guilt. Use that moment to learn something. Get back on track. One misstep doesn't erase your progress unless you let it. You are allowed to be a work in progress and still be proud of how far you've come. People don't fail because they're not perfect. They fail because they give up when it's hard. You can't let setbacks define you. You have to use them. Let them teach you something. Let them remind you that this journey is about becoming stronger, not looking flawless. Progress feels messy. It looks imperfect. But it's real. It's lasting. It's the only thing that will carry you forward when motivation fades and challenges hit. You were not meant to be flawless. You were meant to evolve, to stretch, to become more resilient through effort, not perfection. Every time you improve, even slightly, you're building that muscle of self-respect. That's where confidence comes from, not from being perfect, but from knowing that you keep showing up, no matter what. That's how you gain trust in yourself. That's how you create lasting change. Keep your eyes on the path ahead, but focus on the next step. Don't try to conquer everything at once. Break it down, make it simple. Do what you can with what you have today. Progress isn't always glamorous, but it is powerful. If you keep stacking good days, eventually those days turn into habits. Habits shape your results. Results build your future. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be willing to improve. That mindset separates the people who succeed from the ones who stay stuck. The ones who win long-term are the ones who fall in love with growth, not perfection. They're not trying to look perfect. They're trying to get better. And they do, because they never stop. You must begin to see every single action you take as a vote for the person you want to become. Even if it's small, even if it's awkward, even if it feels insignificant. The person you admire didn't get there in a day. They got there through daily action, through effort that didn't always look great, but always moved them forward. That's your path too. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can, and let your progress compound. In the end, it's not about being perfect. It's about staying committed. It's about having the courage to keep showing up, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you fall short, even when it feels slow. Because the person who stays in the game, learning, growing, improving, will always outlast the one who gives up, waiting for perfection. Make your next move. Take your next step. Focus on progress. That's the real key to everything you want. Chapter 6. Set specific goals and break them into achievable tasks. The path to achieving anything remarkable begins with clarity, and that clarity starts with specific goals. Too many people wander through life without a sense of direction, drifting from one day to the next, hoping that success will find them. But success doesn't come from hope. It comes from intention. It comes from setting clear, specific goals that push you toward the life you want to create. If you want to make a real impact, you must start by being intentional with your goals, and then break them down into manageable, achievable tasks that build upon each other. That's how you move from where you are to where you want to be. Most people fail because their goals are too vague. They say things like, "I want to be successful," or "I want to lose weight." These are admirable desires, but they aren't specific enough to guide your actions. Success is a destination, but without a clear map, you'll wander aimlessly, and that's where most people go wrong. They don't take the time to sit down and think about what they truly want, and then map out a path to get there. When you set specific goals, you define success on your terms. You gain a sense of direction, a sense of purpose, and a focus that you didn't have before. Without specificity, it's easy to get distracted. But when you break down your goals into smaller, actionable tasks, you create a plan that allows you to make consistent progress. This is how you build momentum. Start by asking yourself, what do I really want to accomplish? It's time to be honest with yourself and get clear on your desires. If you want to grow your business, ask yourself, what does growth look like for me? Is it a certain revenue number? A specific number of clients? If you want to get in shape, ask, how many pounds do I want to lose? What level of fitness do I want to achieve? Define your goal in a way that is specific, measurable, and time-bound. Without these elements, it's just a wish. Once you have a clear, specific goal, break it down into smaller, manageable pieces. This is where most people fall short. They think of the big goal and then feel overwhelmed by the enormity of the task. But the key to success is breaking that big goal into small, achievable tasks. It's like climbing a mountain. If you focus on the peak from the very beginning, you'll feel exhausted and defeated before you even start. But if you break the climb into smaller sections, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment with each step. You'll see the progress, and with every small win, your confidence will grow. The power of breaking goals down is that it gives you a clear roadmap for success. It takes the pressure off because you're no longer thinking about the entire mountain. You're focusing on the next step. And that's how you build momentum. It's all about creating small wins. Small wins add up, and over time they turn into something much bigger than you initially imagined. To break your goals into achievable tasks, start by asking yourself, what needs to happen for me to reach this goal? What are the individual steps I must take to get there? Write these tasks down and be as specific as possible. This will help you map out a clear, structured plan that you can follow day by day. Don't leave anything to chance. If your goal is to build a business, maybe your first task is to research your market. Then your second task might be creating a business plan. Then the third might be setting up a website. Each task is connected to the larger goal, and each one is a building block that moves you forward. When you break your goals into smaller tasks, you create a sense of control over the process. It's no longer this huge, overwhelming thing that feels impossible. It's a series of smaller, manageable actions that you can take on a daily basis. This is how you build discipline. When you focus on the next step, rather than the entire journey, you make consistent progress. Consistency is key to reaching your goals. Success is not about making one big leap. It's about making small, consistent efforts over time. And the more specific your tasks are, the easier it will be to stay consistent. If you know exactly what you need to do each day, there's no excuse for procrastination. You'll stay focused. You'll stay on track. But here's the thing, as you work toward your goal, there will be obstacles. There will be days when you feel like giving up, when the tasks feel too difficult, or when things don't go as planned. This is where mental toughness comes in. It's easy to stay motivated when things are going smoothly, but true growth happens when you face challenges head-on. Don't let setbacks deter you from your mission. Every obstacle is an opportunity to build resilience and determination. When things get tough, remind yourself why you started in the first place. Keep your eyes on the prize, and take it one step at a time. The key to overcoming obstacles is staying flexible. Don't be afraid to adjust your plan if things aren't going the way you envisioned. Flexibility doesn't mean quitting. It means adapting. If a certain task isn't yielding the results you wanted, it's okay to shift gears. Maybe you need to learn a new skill or find a different approach. The path to success is rarely linear. There will be detours, setbacks, and challenges along the way. But as long as you stay focused on the goal and break it down into manageable steps, you'll get through them. The real power of goal setting lies in the daily actions you take. Success doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen with one big burst of effort. It happens through consistent, deliberate action taken day after day. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by your goals, remind yourself that the key to success is breaking them down. Focus on one small task at a time. Take one step forward, then another, and then another. Each step moves you closer to your goal. As you break your goals down and take consistent action, you'll also start to see the bigger picture. You'll realize that these small tasks you're doing today are adding up to something much larger. The progress you make today may seem small, but over time it will snowball. You'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come. And when you reach your goal, you won't just celebrate the end result. You'll celebrate the process that got you there. You'll understand that success wasn't just about reaching the destination. It was about the journey, the discipline, and the consistency that made it possible. One of the most important things you can do is keep your goals visible. Don't just write them down and forget about them. Post them somewhere you can see them every day. This constant reminder will keep you focused and motivated. It will keep you moving forward, even on the days when you don't feel like it. Visual reminders of your goals will help you stay committed, even when distractions arise. The more you see your goals, the more they'll become a part of your mindset, your routine, and your daily actions. Remember, setting specific goals and breaking them down into achievable tasks is not just a strategy for success, it's a way of life. The most successful people don't just set goals, they live their goals every single day. They are intentional with their actions, and they break their goals down into manageable steps. They know that success is not about perfection, it's about progress. And by taking consistent action, step by step, they create the results they want in their lives. The only limit to what you can achieve is the one you place on yourself. So stop waiting for the perfect moment to start. Stop waiting for everything to fall into place. Start right now with a specific goal and a clear plan. Break it down into tasks. Take one step forward, and then another. Keep going, keep pushing, and keep progressing. Success is not for the people who wait for the stars to align. It's for the people who take control of their lives and make things happen, one step at a time. Chapter 7. Develop a daily routine that fuels productivity and discipline. Success is not a one-time event. It is the result of the habits you cultivate every single day. What you do in your daily routine shapes the future you will experience. If you want to master productivity, fuel your discipline, and create consistent progress, the foundation starts with your daily routine. The truth is, without a disciplined routine, you will be scattered, distracted, and constantly chasing your tail. But with a well-designed routine, you will be unstoppable. A powerful daily routine is the engine that drives success. It eliminates the need for motivation because it replaces the decision-making process with deliberate actions. The key to building a productive and disciplined life is to structure your day around high-priority actions and non-negotiable commitments. The most successful people don't just get lucky, they have systems in place that keep them on track, no matter what. Your daily routine is where you take control of your life. It is where you decide what kind of person you will become, and it's where you put in the work that makes your future possible. It's easy to think that success is a result of one big action, but success is really the culmination of small, deliberate steps taken day after day. Your routine is how you ensure that those small steps add up to something massive. The first step to developing a daily routine that fuels your productivity and discipline is to evaluate your current habits. Take a hard look at how you're spending your time. Are your daily activities supporting your goals? Are you prioritizing what matters most, or are you letting distractions and insignificant tasks take over? If you want to create a routine that truly propels you forward, you must eliminate the habits that are holding you back. If you're spending time on things that don't align with your long-term goals, it's time to make some changes. The next step is to identify your non-negotiable commitments. These are the activities that must be a part of your day if you want to build the life you desire. For some, this might include exercise, reading, or meditation. For others, it might be focused work on a specific project or goal. Whatever your non-negotiables are, make sure they have a place in your daily routine. These are the activities that will keep you on track, no matter what distractions arise throughout the day. Once you've identified your non-negotiables, it's time to structure your routine. One of the most effective ways to do this is by dividing your day into blocks of time. Time blocking is a strategy used by the most successful people to ensure that each hour is spent intentionally. Start by blocking out your non-negotiables first. If exercise is a priority, schedule it at the same time every day. If deep work is essential to your success, set aside a block of uninterrupted time each day to focus solely on that task. Time blocking helps you avoid the chaos that comes with an unstructured day. It prevents distractions from creeping in and ensures that you are focusing on the right things. But here's the secret: time blocking only works if you hold yourself accountable. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you'll just get to it later, but the truth is, if it's not scheduled, it won't happen. The best routines are built around discipline, and discipline is the ability to follow through with what you've committed to, even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. To create an effective routine, it's essential to start with your morning. The way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Successful people know that mornings are precious, and they maximize this time to set themselves up for success. The first few hours of your day are when you have the most energy, focus, and clarity. It's the perfect time to invest in activities that require mental effort, creativity, or physical energy. Whether it's a workout, reading, or writing, make sure your morning routine includes activities that align with your goals and push you toward progress. But don't just fill your morning with any activity. Choose activities that feed your mind, body, and soul. This might include meditation to center your thoughts, exercise to energize your body, or reading to fuel your knowledge. These are the foundational practices that will provide you with the momentum you need to tackle the rest of your day. After your morning routine, it's time to dive into the work that matters most. For many people, this is the part of the day when distractions become the most difficult to manage. You might find yourself checking social media, responding to emails, or getting sidetracked by other non-essential tasks. This is why having a structured work block is so important. During this time, remove any potential distractions. Turn off notifications, close irrelevant tabs on your computer, and create a workspace that encourages focus. Distractions are one of the greatest productivity killers, and without discipline, they can easily derail your efforts. That's why it's crucial to build mental boundaries that keep distractions at bay. To maintain your focus during your designated work block, set clear, achievable goals for what you want to accomplish. Break large tasks into smaller, manageable steps and commit to completing them before moving on to the next. During the day, it's also important to take breaks. Rest is an essential part of maintaining your productivity. Many people believe that working non-stop will lead to success, but the truth is, rest and recovery are just as crucial to high performance. Schedule short breaks throughout your day to recharge your energy. Whether it's a 5-minute walk or a quick meditation session, give yourself permission to rest and come back to your work refreshed. As you move through your day, make sure that every task you tackle is aligned with your larger goals. Every action you take should be in service of your vision. Your routine should be structured in a way that allows you to make progress toward your goals every day, whether it's through learning, creating, or executing. Every task you complete brings you closer to where you want to be. The power of a disciplined daily routine lies in its consistency. You won't always feel motivated to stick to your routine, and there will be days when it feels difficult or tedious. But the secret to success is showing up, even when you don't feel like it. Motivation is fleeting, but discipline is what will keep you going when the initial excitement wears off. Build your routine around discipline, not motivation. At the end of your day, take time to reflect on what you've accomplished. Celebrate the small wins and acknowledge the progress you've made. This reflection allows you to see how far you've come and reinforces the importance of your routine. It also provides an opportunity to adjust your routine as needed. If something isn't working, don't be afraid to make changes. A routine is not a rigid structure. It's a flexible system that should evolve as you grow. A daily routine is the framework for achieving your goals, but it's not something that happens overnight. It takes time, patience, and consistency to build a routine that works for you. But once you establish a routine that fuels your productivity and discipline, you'll notice the compound effect it has on your life. The small actions you take today will lead to big results tomorrow. Success is not a result of doing one big thing, it's the result of consistently doing the right things every single day. So, if you want to change your life, start by changing your routine. Make it intentional. Make it consistent. Make it yours. The path to success is built on the foundation of your daily habits. And once you master your routine, you will unlock your full potential, accomplish more than you ever thought possible, and become the person you were always meant to be. Chapter 8. Prioritize your health by integrating fitness into your life. Your health is your most valuable asset. Without it, nothing else truly matters. Success, wealth, and happiness all stem from the foundation of good health. It's time to stop treating fitness as something you do when you have time and start integrating it into your daily life as a non-negotiable. When you prioritize your health by making fitness a core part of your routine, you unlock more energy, confidence, and resilience. This is not just about looking good, it's about feeling unstoppable in every area of your life. Fitness isn't something you put off for later, it's something you make room for every single day. The world's most successful people don't get their energy from coffee or shortcuts, they get it from taking care of their bodies. The stronger and healthier you are, the more you can achieve. If you're serious about your goals, your health must be a top priority, and that means integrating fitness into your life consistently. Building a routine that includes regular exercise doesn't have to be complicated. The key is to make it part of your lifestyle rather than an afterthought. If you can create a system that incorporates fitness every day, it will become second nature. You won't have to force yourself to get to the gym or go for a run. You'll be driven by the understanding that your health is non-negotiable. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to prioritize fitness is thinking they need to have hours to spare at the gym or an elaborate fitness plan. But the truth is, you can achieve incredible results by simply committing to regular, consistent movement. It's not about doing the perfect workout, it's about doing something every day. Whether it's a morning stretch, a quick bodyweight workout, or a jog around your neighborhood, making fitness a part of your routine is the first step toward building a healthier life. Think of fitness as an investment in yourself. The stronger you become physically, the stronger you will be mentally. Regular exercise sharpens your mind, boosts your mood, and increases your focus. It enhances your ability to make decisions, solve problems, and remain calm under pressure. But the benefits of fitness go beyond the mental and emotional. Exercise also strengthens your body, reducing the risk of chronic diseases and improving your overall quality of life. When you integrate fitness into your life, it doesn't have to be an all-or-nothing approach. It's about finding what works for you and committing to it consistently. You don't need to hit the gym every single day, but you do need to stay active every single day. Whether you're lifting weights, going for a walk, practicing yoga, or engaging in a sport, moving your body should become a habit. If you're not used to working out, start small. Even 5 to 10 minutes of exercise can have a positive impact on your health. As you begin to make fitness a daily practice, the results will start to compound. You'll notice more energy, better sleep, and improved focus. Your body will become more resilient to stress and fatigue. And as a result, you'll feel more confident in your ability to tackle whatever challenges come your way. Fitness doesn't just transform your body, it transforms your entire life. One of the best ways to integrate fitness into your life is to make it enjoyable. If you hate running, don't force yourself to run every day. Find an activity that you actually enjoy, whether it's dancing, cycling, swimming, or playing basketball. The more fun it is, the more likely you are to stick with it. And remember, consistency is more important than intensity. You don't need to push yourself to the limit every day. The goal is to make fitness a sustainable habit, not a sporadic effort that you burn out from. Time is one of the biggest excuses people use for not exercising. But the truth is, everyone has time. It's about how you prioritize it. If you're not making time for fitness, it's because other things are taking precedence. But when you make your health a priority, you'll find that you have more energy to do everything else. You'll be more productive, more focused, and better equipped to handle the challenges of the day. Exercise isn't just an activity, it's a productivity tool that amplifies every other area of your life. Start by carving out time for fitness in your daily routine. If mornings are best for you, schedule your workout first thing. If you're more energized in the evenings, reserve that time for exercise. Whatever time of day works best, commit to making it a regular part of your day. Set a reminder in your calendar, treat it like any other important meeting, and hold yourself accountable. But the secret to long-term success with fitness is creating a routine that's adaptable. Life is unpredictable, and some days you won't have the time or energy to do your usual workout. That's okay. The goal isn't to be perfect, the goal is to be consistent. On the days when you're pressed for time, find shorter, more efficient workouts. A quick 15-minute high-intensity workout or a fast-paced walk can still give you a boost. Adapt your fitness routine to fit your life, and you'll keep moving forward no matter what. When you prioritize your health through regular fitness, you're not just improving your body, you're also building resilience. Fitness teaches you how to push through discomfort, stay disciplined, and overcome obstacles. These are the same qualities that will help you succeed in every area of your life. Just like a workout that gets more challenging over time, your life will get tougher as you grow, and you need to be mentally and physically strong enough to handle it. Fitness also provides a sense of achievement and momentum. Every time you finish a workout, you prove to yourself that you're capable of pushing past your limits. You build confidence in your ability to follow through, even when things get tough. And when you build this sense of accomplishment in one area of your life, it naturally carries over to everything else. Fitness creates a cycle of success where each small win adds up to something greater. The power of fitness lies in its ability to transform not just your body, but also your mindset. When you feel strong and capable physically, you start to feel stronger mentally. You'll begin to approach challenges with a sense of confidence and determination that wasn't there before. Your self-discipline will improve, your mindset will shift, and your life will change in ways you never expected. But fitness isn't just about what happens in the gym, it's about how you take care of your body every day. Your nutrition, your sleep, and your recovery are all critical components of your overall health. When you prioritize fitness, you also need to prioritize good nutrition and sufficient rest. Your body needs the right fuel to perform, and it needs time to recover so that it can continue to grow stronger. The key to success is integrating fitness into your life in a way that makes sense for you. Start small, stay consistent, and make adjustments as you go. Over time, you'll notice how your energy levels soar, your focus sharpens, and your overall quality of life improves. And as you build strength, both physically and mentally, you'll become unstoppable in every area of your life. In the end, the greatest investment you can make is in your health. When you prioritize fitness, you're not just investing in your body, you're investing in your future. You're creating a foundation of energy, strength, and resilience that will carry you through every challenge you face. Fitness isn't just something you do, it's a way of life. Make it a priority and watch as it transforms everything else in your life. Chapter 9. Cultivate a growth mindset to embrace every opportunity. The moment you stop fearing failure and start embracing growth, your life changes forever. A growth mindset isn't just a concept, It's the power to turn every setback into a stepping stone, to view challenges as opportunities, and to see potential in every situation. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, and the key to unlocking your fullest potential is shifting your perspective from limitation to possibility. Most people go through life in a fixed mindset, believing that their abilities and intelligence are set in stone. They believe that success or failure is a reflection of who they are, rather than a result of effort and learning. But what if you could turn that idea on its head? What if you could believe, deep in your core, that every experience, every failure, every moment of discomfort is just a part of your journey toward becoming the best version of yourself? That's the essence of a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the understanding that intelligence, talent, and success are not static. They are fluid and can be developed over time through effort, practice, and learning. When you embrace this way of thinking, you no longer view failure as something to be feared or avoided. Instead, you view it as a necessary part of the process, a tool for growth, and an opportunity to learn. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by avoiding challenges. They got there by facing them head-on and using each obstacle as a springboard to push themselves further. The first step in cultivating a growth mindset is letting go of the idea that you need to be perfect or have it all figured out. Perfection is a trap. It's an illusion that keeps you stuck in a state of fear and inaction. Growth happens when you allow yourself to be imperfect, when you give yourself the freedom to make mistakes, learn from them, and continue moving forward. You must embrace the idea that growth comes from effort and that you have the power to improve, evolve, and change no matter where you start. Imagine the impact of seeing every challenge as an opportunity rather than an obstacle. What would it be like if every time you faced something difficult, you immediately thought to yourself, "This is my chance to grow"? That shift in thinking opens doors. It transforms how you approach problems, setbacks, and even successes. You stop worrying about what could go wrong and start focusing on what you can learn from the experience. This mindset shift is what propels people to take risks, to step outside their comfort zones, and to pursue goals that others might deem impossible. A growth mindset also gives you the resilience to push through adversity. When you know that every failure is just a learning opportunity, you can bounce back from setbacks stronger and wiser. Resilience doesn't come from avoiding failure, it comes from facing it, learning from it, and using it to fuel your next move. You don't need to have everything figured out from the start. The key is to start, to learn, and to keep moving forward with the understanding that you can grow from each experience. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others. Social media, the news, and even the people around you can make it seem like everyone else has it all together, while you're just trying to keep up. But a growth mindset allows you to step out of that comparison game. When you're focused on growth, you stop worrying about where others are and start focusing on where you are and where you're headed. Your growth journey is yours and yours alone. There's no one else's path to follow. You can't control other people's success, but you can control your own progress, and that's where your energy needs to go. One of the most powerful aspects of a growth mindset is the ability to embrace challenges. Challenges are often seen as roadblocks or signs that you're not good enough. But with a growth mindset, challenges become a sign that you're moving in the right direction. They are an indication that you're pushing your limits, stepping outside of your comfort zone, and doing the work necessary to evolve. Without challenges, there is no growth. Without discomfort, there is no transformation. When you view challenges in this light, you not only become more willing to face them, you actively seek them out as opportunities to expand and improve. Another key element of a growth mindset is the belief that effort leads to mastery. Too many people give up when they don't see immediate results, thinking that if they haven't achieved success right away, they must not be good enough. But true success doesn't come from innate talent alone. It comes from consistent effort and a commitment to improvement. When you focus on putting in the work every day, no matter how small the steps may seem, you are actively creating the future you want. Each moment of effort compounds into a larger transformation. The more you work at something, the better you get, and the closer you get to mastering it. This commitment to effort and improvement is why the most successful people often speak about consistency as the key to their success. They didn't get there overnight. They got there because they showed up every day, even when they didn't feel like it, and put in the work. They knew that growth wasn't linear. It's full of setbacks, challenges, and periods of slow progress. But every step, no matter how small, moved them closer to their goals. The beauty of a growth mindset is that it allows you to be present in the moment, focused on the process, rather than getting fixated on the outcome. It's not about the end result, it's about what you're learning and how you're evolving along the way. When you embrace the journey and appreciate the lessons you learn, you stop rushing toward the finish line and start enjoying the process. This shift in perspective is what keeps you motivated and moving forward, even on the toughest days. But developing a growth mindset doesn't happen overnight. It takes conscious effort, self-awareness, and a willingness to challenge the way you think. It's about questioning the beliefs that hold you back and replacing them with beliefs that empower you. You'll need to be patient with yourself, as change takes time. But the more you practice seeing challenges as opportunities, the easier it will become to embrace the growth process. Start by recognizing when you're slipping into a fixed mindset. Do you avoid challenges because you're afraid of failing? Do you give up when things get difficult? Are you comparing your progress to others? These are all signs that you're operating from a fixed mindset. When you notice these patterns, take a step back and remind yourself that failure is not a reflection of your worth. It's simply a part of the process. You are learning, growing, and evolving with every step you take. Another way to cultivate a growth mindset is to surround yourself with people who share this perspective. The people you spend time with can have a huge impact on your mindset. When you surround yourself with individuals who embrace challenges, value effort, and focus on personal growth, you'll find that your own mindset begins to shift. These people will inspire you, challenge you, and remind you of what's possible when you adopt a growth-oriented approach to life. The more you embrace this mindset, the more natural it will become to view every situation as an opportunity to grow. You'll find that challenges no longer feel like roadblocks, but rather as stepping stones to success. Your failures will no longer feel like setbacks, but rather as learning experiences that make you stronger and more capable. Remember, success isn't a destination, it's a journey. And the key to enjoying the journey is to adopt a growth mindset that allows you to embrace every opportunity along the way. When you believe that growth is possible in every situation, you unlock your potential to achieve things you never thought possible. Embrace the journey. Embrace the challenges, embrace the growth, and watch as your life transforms into something you never imagined. Chapter 10. Take full responsibility for your actions and decisions. The power to shape your life starts with one simple yet profound truth: you are fully responsible for your actions and decisions. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you've been through, or what obstacles you've faced. Every choice you make, every action you take, is within your control. The moment you accept this responsibility, you unlock the ability to change, grow, and create the life you want. There's freedom in taking responsibility because it places you firmly in the driver's seat of your own life. It's all too easy to slip into the habit of blaming others or external circumstances when things don't go our way. It's tempting to point fingers, to make excuses, and to deflect accountability. But the truth is, doing so keeps you stuck. Blame and excuses are a trap that prevent you from growing. They allow you to stay in your comfort zone, avoiding the uncomfortable but essential work of personal accountability. When you blame others or life's circumstances, you give away your power. You place the control of your life in someone else's hands, and that makes it impossible for you to create real, lasting change. The key to unlocking your true potential is to take full responsibility for everything in your life. This includes not only your successes, but also your failures, setbacks, and mistakes. When you can accept full responsibility for all that you are, you will stop making excuses and start making progress. You'll stop waiting for things to change around you and start changing your mindset and actions. Taking responsibility is empowering because it means you're no longer waiting for permission, validation, or external factors to dictate your progress. Taking responsibility doesn't mean that you ignore your challenges or pretend that things aren't difficult. It simply means that you acknowledge that you have the power to decide how you respond to those challenges. Life will never be free of difficulties, but the way you choose to react to them is entirely in your hands. When you take responsibility, you stop being a passive participant in your own life and start becoming an active creator of your future. At the core of taking responsibility is the understanding that your actions are a direct result of your choices. Every decision you make, every action you take, has consequences. When you make a mistake, rather than looking for someone else to blame, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to improve? This mindset shift is what allows you to grow from failure instead of being defeated by it. It's not about perfection, it's about learning, adapting, and growing every single day. Taking responsibility also means letting go of the victim mindset. It's easy to feel like the world is against you, to believe that life is unfair and that everything is happening to you. But that kind of thinking disempowers you. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of frustration and resentment where you feel helpless to make changes. But when you take responsibility for your life, you step out of that victim mentality. You stop waiting for things to change and start taking action to make them change. It's about owning your power to shape your reality, no matter what your circumstances might be. When you take responsibility for your actions, you also take responsibility for your attitude. Your mindset is a choice. You can choose to be positive or negative, optimistic or pessimistic, determined or defeated. Your attitude determines how you approach every situation, and it has a huge impact on your ability to succeed. If you constantly blame your circumstances for your attitude, you'll never be able to shift your mindset. But when you own your attitude, you empower yourself to rise above whatever challenges come your way. One of the biggest shifts you'll experience when you take full responsibility for your life is the realization that you no longer have to wait for someone else to change in order for things to get better. Instead of waiting for others to behave differently, you take control of your own actions and reactions. You focus on what you can control, your own thoughts, your own behavior, and your own decisions. This is incredibly liberating because it means you are no longer a slave to external circumstances. You are in charge of how you show up in the world, and that is an empowering position to be in. Taking responsibility for your life doesn't mean that you have to do everything perfectly. It doesn't mean that you won't make mistakes or face setbacks. What it means is that you stop making excuses and start making decisions that align with your values and goals. It's about choosing to act with intention, even when things are difficult or uncertain. When you make a decision to take responsibility for your actions, you are telling yourself that you believe in your ability to grow, improve, and succeed. And that belief in yourself is the foundation for everything you do. A key part of taking responsibility is recognizing that you are the sum of your choices. Your habits, your relationships, your career, these things are a direct reflection of the decisions you've made up to this point. If you want to change the trajectory of your life, you must start by taking responsibility for the choices you make moving forward. The path to transformation begins with the simple act of deciding to take control. When you choose to take responsibility, you stop blaming others for your problems, and you stop waiting for things to get better on their own. You recognize that the only person who can change your life is you. A common barrier to taking responsibility is the fear of failure. Many people are afraid that if they take responsibility for their actions and decisions, they'll have to face the consequences of their mistakes. But here's the truth: failure is an essential part of growth. Every successful person has failed countless times, but they didn't let those failures define them. They took responsibility for their mistakes, learned from them, and used them as fuel for their next attempt. When you stop fearing failure and start seeing it as a valuable part of the learning process, you free yourself to take risks, make bold moves, and keep pushing forward no matter what. The act of taking full responsibility also means letting go of the need for external validation. Too often, we seek validation from others to feel good about ourselves or our decisions. We wait for approval or recognition before we take action. But when you take responsibility for your actions, you no longer need permission from others to move forward. You become the validator of your own progress. You trust yourself to make the right decisions, and you have the confidence to take action without waiting for others to tell you what to do. When you stop waiting for approval and start taking responsibility for your actions, you create momentum. You move forward with purpose and direction. You don't waste time second-guessing yourself or looking for external validation. You trust in your ability to make decisions and take action. And as you continue to take responsibility, you build a track record of success that reinforces your belief in your own ability to make things happen. Taking responsibility also means letting go of excuses. Excuses are the enemy of progress. They keep you stuck in a cycle of inaction and avoidance. When you make excuses, you give yourself permission to avoid the hard work of personal growth. But when you stop making excuses, you begin to confront the challenges in your life head-on. You start taking ownership of your actions, and you become more proactive in making the changes that are necessary to move forward. Excuses will never move you closer to your goals. Action will. And the only way to take action is to take full responsibility for the choices you make. You are the architect of your own future. Every decision you make, every action you take, and every attitude you adopt shapes the direction of your life. When you take responsibility for your actions and decisions, you take control of your life. You stop waiting for things to happen, and you start making things happen. This is the path to true empowerment, and it's the key to unlocking your fullest potential. The truth is simple: you have the power to change your life. But that power lies in your ability to take full responsibility for your actions and decisions. When you own your choices, you own your future. So take responsibility for everything in your life, and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. Chapter 11. Practice gratitude to shift your mindset towards abundance. Gratitude is the key that unlocks abundance. It's the mindset shift that transforms how you see the world, how you approach challenges, and how you embrace every opportunity life throws at you. When you practice gratitude, you change the way you perceive your circumstances. You stop focusing on what's missing and start appreciating everything you already have, shifting your energy from scarcity to abundance. The simple act of being thankful opens up your life to receive even more of what you desire. Too often, we get caught up in the race for more success, more money, more recognition, more freedom. We become so fixated on the next achievement that we forget to appreciate the blessings in front of us. It's natural to want to grow, to improve, and to reach for new heights, but in that pursuit, we can easily lose sight of all the good that already exists in our lives. Gratitude is the antidote to this constant craving for more. It brings us back to the present moment, helping us recognize the abundance we already have. The mindset of gratitude doesn't just feel good, it's transformational. When you begin to express thankfulness, you shift your entire perspective. You move from a place of lack to a place of fullness. Instead of seeing life through the lens of scarcity, where there's never enough, where you're always striving for something more, you begin to see the richness in your everyday life. Gratitude trains your mind to focus on the positive aspects of your world, and when you shift your focus, you attract even more positivity. This shift in perspective is more than just a feel-good exercise. It's backed by science. Studies have shown that gratitude has the power to rewire your brain, making you more optimistic, more resilient, and more open to opportunities. When you practice gratitude, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the feel-good chemicals that help to reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. These chemicals are natural mood boosters, helping you cultivate a sense of well-being that propels you forward. The more you practice gratitude, the more these positive chemicals flow through your brain, creating a cycle of happiness and fulfillment. Gratitude also increases your resilience. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and unexpected obstacles. But when you adopt a mindset of gratitude, you start to approach those difficulties. You can appreciate the lessons that come from hardship and see them as stepping stones to personal growth. Gratitude doesn't ignore the difficulties in life, it helps you see beyond them. It gives you the strength to keep moving forward, even when the path seems uncertain. The power of gratitude lies in its ability to shift your focus. When you practice gratitude, you stop focusing on what's wrong with your life and start recognizing what's right. It's easy to fall into the trap of complaining, comparing, and feeling like we're not enough. But when you choose to express gratitude, you free yourself from this cycle of negativity. You remind yourself of all the things you already have, the relationships, the opportunities, the health, and the resources. Even on the toughest days, there is always something to be grateful for. One of the most impactful ways to incorporate gratitude into your life is through a daily gratitude practice. This can be as simple as taking a few moments each morning or evening to reflect on the things you're thankful for. It could be as small as the warmth of your coffee or the kindness of a friend. Or it could be something larger, like your health, your family, or your career. The key is to make it a consistent part of your routine. By setting aside time each day to reflect on what you're grateful for, you train your mind to focus on abundance rather than scarcity. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, and you'll begin to notice the positive shifts in your mindset and your life. Another powerful tool for cultivating gratitude is keeping a gratitude journal. This simple practice can have a profound impact on your mindset. Each day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They can be big or small, as long as they're meaningful to you. By taking the time to write these things down, you create a tangible record of your blessings. This journal serves as a reminder of the abundance in your life, especially during times when you feel down or discouraged. When you look back at your journal, you'll be amazed at how much you have to be grateful for. Gratitude also strengthens your relationships. When you express thankfulness to the people in your life, you deepen your connection with them. Whether it's thanking a friend for their support, appreciating your partner for their love, or acknowledging a colleague for their hard work, expressing gratitude builds trust and positivity. People who feel appreciated are more likely to show up for you, and the act of gratitude creates a cycle of kindness that benefits everyone involved. But gratitude isn't just about focusing on the good things in your life, it's also about how you respond to challenges. Life isn't always easy, and we all face moments of struggle. But even in those moments, gratitude has the power to transform your experience. When you're facing adversity, instead of feeling sorry for yourself or blaming the world, you can choose to be thankful for the lessons, growth, and resilience that come from the experience. Every challenge carries an opportunity for growth, and when you practice gratitude, you train yourself to find those opportunities. Gratitude doesn't ignore the hard times, it helps you navigate them with a positive, growth-oriented mindset. Another important aspect of practicing gratitude is recognizing that abundance isn't just about material possessions, it's about the richness of your experiences and the depth of your relationships. Too often, we associate abundance with money or possessions, but the truth is, abundance is so much more than that. True abundance is found in the moments of joy, connection, and fulfillment that we experience every day. It's the laughter shared with friends, the beauty of nature, the quiet moments of peace. When you start practicing gratitude, you begin to see these moments of abundance in every corner of your life. Gratitude also helps you stop comparing yourself to others. It's easy to get caught up in the trap of envy, especially in the age of social media, where we're constantly exposed to other people's highlight reels. But when you practice gratitude, you learn to appreciate your own journey without comparing it to someone else's. You begin to focus on your own growth, your own progress, and the things that matter most to you. Gratitude allows you to celebrate your own success without feeling diminished by the success of others. And finally, gratitude is a powerful tool for manifesting your desires. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you raise your vibration and attract more of the same into your life. The energy of gratitude is magnetic, drawing more positive experiences, people, and opportunities into your world. The more you appreciate what you have, the more you open yourself up to receiving even more. It's a law of attraction in action. When you focus on abundance, you invite more abundance into your life. In the end, gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a choice. It's a mindset that you can cultivate every day, and it's the foundation of a life lived in abundance. When you practice gratitude, you stop waiting for external circumstances to change, and you begin to shift your own mindset. You become more aware of the blessings in your life, and you start attracting even more blessings. Gratitude doesn't just change your mood, it changes your entire perspective on life. It opens the door to a world of possibilities, helping you see the beauty in everything and everyone around you. So start today. Practice gratitude and watch as your world transforms. Chapter 12. Create positive habits that support your personal development. Success doesn't happen by accident. It's built on the foundation of consistent positive habits. Every day you are shaping your future through the actions you take, whether you realize it or not. The habits you choose to develop will either propel you toward your goals or pull you away from them. If you want to achieve personal growth, create lasting change, and build the life you truly desire, you must be intentional about the habits you form. When you take control of your habits, you take control of your destiny. Habits are the silent architects of your future. They are the things you do without thinking, the patterns you repeat day in and day out. These actions are so ingrained in your daily life that they can seem invisible, but they are powerful forces shaping your outcomes. If you're stuck in a cycle of negative habits, it's time to break free. And if you're not sure where to begin, start with the realization that the smallest changes can lead to the biggest transformations. Creating positive habits that support your personal development is not a task for the faint-hearted, but it's one that can bring extraordinary results when approached with commitment and consistency. The first step in building positive habits is recognizing that small actions, repeated consistently, lead to massive change. We often underestimate the power of small daily decisions. We think that to achieve something great, we need to make big, dramatic moves. But in reality, it's the compound effect of small positive habits that lead to extraordinary results. Every small choice you make, from the way you start your day to the way you handle challenges, adds up. It's not about making giant leaps overnight. It's about stacking small, consistent actions that over time transform your life. So where do you begin? First, start by identifying the habits that are most important for your personal development. What is it that you want to achieve? What qualities or skills do you need to develop to get there? Whether it's improving your health, growing your career, mastering a new skill, or becoming more disciplined, the habits you form must align with your goals. There's no one-size-fits-all answer here. The habits you choose will depend on your personal aspirations and the direction you want your life to take. Once you've identified the habits you want to cultivate, the next step is to make them stick. The key to success lies not just in starting these habits, but in making them sustainable. So many people begin their personal development journey with enthusiasm, only to fall off track after a few days or weeks. The problem isn't the goal, it's the approach. Creating a habit that lasts requires structure, consistency, and patience. The more consistent you are with your positive habits, the more they become part of your identity. In time, they will become second nature, and you won't have to think twice about them. Start by breaking down your big goals into manageable steps. If your goal is to get healthier, don't just aim to lose 30 pounds. Instead, focus on building the habits that will help you get there: exercising regularly, eating nutritious foods, drinking plenty of water, and getting enough sleep. Each of these actions is a small habit that, when practiced daily, will lead you toward your desired outcome. Instead of focusing on the end result, commit to the process. The process is where true growth happens. When you commit to the habits that support your goals, success becomes inevitable. Another critical aspect of building positive habits is understanding the science behind habit formation. Research has shown that it takes around 21 days to form a new habit. However, that's just the beginning. While 21 days is enough to build the foundation of a habit, it can take longer for it to become deeply ingrained in your life. The more you repeat a habit, the more automatic it becomes. Eventually, it becomes part of your routine, and you don't have to think about it. The first few days or weeks might feel challenging, but the more you stick with it, the easier it gets. One effective way to build habits is through habit stacking. This technique involves linking a new habit to an existing habit. For example, if you already have a morning routine of drinking a cup of coffee, you can add a new habit, such as writing in a gratitude journal, immediately after your coffee. By linking the new habit to something you already do regularly, you're more likely to remember to do it, and it becomes easier to incorporate into your day. The key to habit stacking is making the new habit simple and easy to do. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with too many changes at once. Start with one new habit and keep it manageable. Another strategy for building positive habits is tracking your progress. Tracking is an essential tool for maintaining consistency and staying motivated. When you see the progress you're making, it reinforces your commitment to the habit. It also helps you identify patterns and make adjustments when necessary. Whether it's tracking your workouts, meals, or daily productivity, keeping a record allows you to see how far you've come and reminds you of the benefits of sticking with your habits. It also provides a sense of accomplishment, which can be incredibly motivating. While consistency is crucial, it's also important to be flexible. Life happens, and sometimes you'll miss a workout, skip a meal prep, or fall short of your goals. The key is not to be hard on yourself, but to get back on track as soon as possible. Perfection isn't the goal, progress is. The road to personal development is not linear. There will be setbacks, and that's okay. What matters is that you continue to show up, even on the tough days. Every time you get back up after a setback, you're building resilience and reinforcing your commitment to your personal growth. Surrounding yourself with support is another powerful strategy for building positive habits. You don't have to go on this journey alone. Having a support system can make all the difference. Whether it's a workout buddy, an accountability partner, or a mentor, having someone to encourage you and hold you accountable can help you stay motivated and focused on your goals. When you share your goals with others, you not only strengthen your own commitment, but you also create a sense of community that makes the process more enjoyable and rewarding. Another aspect to consider is the environment in which you live. Your environment plays a huge role in your ability to build and maintain positive habits. If you want to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with nutritious foods. If you want to exercise more, make sure your workout gear is ready and easily accessible. Make it as easy as possible to stick to your positive habits by setting up your environment for success. The less effort it takes to engage in your new habits, the more likely you are to do them consistently. As you continue to build positive habits, it's essential to remember that personal development is a lifelong journey. There is no destination, only constant growth. The habits you form today will serve you for a lifetime, but they are just the beginning. As you continue to evolve, your habits will evolve with you. Stay committed to the process and trust that the small actions you take each day will compound into extraordinary results. The journey might be long, but every step you take is a step toward becoming the best version of yourself. Creating positive habits is not just about what you do, it's about who you become in the process. When you commit to daily growth and progress, you become someone who thrives on discipline, consistency, and resilience. And it's these qualities that will carry you forward, helping you achieve your goals and create the life you desire. So start today. Choose one habit, one small action, and commit to it. Watch as that small action turns into a powerful force that propels you toward your dreams. Chapter 13. Take calculated risks to push yourself out of comfort zones. The path to growth, success, and transformation begins where your comfort zone ends. If you're not taking calculated risks, you're settling for the life you have instead of the life you could create. No one ever became extraordinary by playing it safe. If you want to see real change in your life, you must be willing to step into the unknown, face your fears, and take risks that challenge you to grow. Risk-taking is a powerful tool for personal growth. It is through risk that we find our strength, our resilience, and our true potential. When you take calculated risks, You're not blindly jumping into uncertainty. You're pushing yourself beyond the limits of what you've known, expanding your horizons, and opening the door to new possibilities. The comfort zone may feel safe, but it's also a prison that keeps you from reaching your full potential. You have to be willing to leave it behind if you want to become the person you're capable of being. But taking risks doesn't mean being reckless. The key is to make calculated risks, those that are thoughtfully considered, planned out, and aligned with your long-term goals. A calculated risk is not about throwing caution to the wind. It's about understanding the potential rewards and consequences and weighing them carefully before making a decision. The purpose of taking risks is not to escape from fear, but to embrace it, face it head-on, and use it as a springboard for growth. Calculated risks often require stepping into the unknown. It's easy to stay where it's comfortable and familiar, but nothing great ever came from staying in a place of certainty. The people who change the world, the people who reach their highest potential, are those who are willing to step into uncertainty, even when they don't have all the answers. They take risks because they understand that growth lies in the discomfort of the unknown. When you step into new experiences, you allow yourself to grow in ways you can't anticipate. These moments of challenge are the crucibles that forge resilience and strength. Taking calculated risks also means embracing failure as a part of the journey. Too many people avoid taking risks because they're afraid of failing, but failure is not the end. It's an opportunity to learn and adjust. Each time you fail, you're given valuable feedback that can help you improve and approach your next challenge with a clearer understanding. Failure is simply a stepping stone on the way to success. It's not something to fear, it's something to embrace. Without the willingness to fail, you'll never find the breakthroughs that lead to success. When you push yourself out of your comfort zone, you not only grow personally, but you also discover new strengths and capabilities within yourself. You surprise yourself by what you're capable of achieving. It's easy to underestimate your potential when you stay in the safe zone, but when you take risks, you push the boundaries of what you think is possible. Each time you take a risk, you break through another barrier that holds you back. And with each breakthrough, you move closer to the life you want to create. The fear of the unknown often holds people back from taking risks. It's natural to feel fear when you're faced with a new challenge or opportunity. But fear is not a sign to retreat. It's a sign that you're on the right path. Fear is your body's way of telling you that you're about to grow, that you're about to step into something bigger than yourself. The key is not to eliminate fear, but to move forward in spite of it. Fear doesn't have to control you, it can serve as a powerful motivator to push you past your limits. One of the greatest barriers to taking calculated risks is the fear of failure. But let's shift the narrative. Instead of seeing failure as a negative, see it as an invaluable teacher. Each failure brings with it lessons that can propel you towards success. In fact, most successful people have experienced failure countless times before they ever achieved their breakthroughs. They didn't let failure define them, they let it refine them. Every failure is an opportunity to learn, to adjust, and to come back stronger. The key is to take the lessons from each failure and use them to fuel your next risk. Taking calculated risks requires a mindset shift. Instead of focusing on the worst-case scenario, focus on the best-case scenario. What's the potential upside of the risk? What could you gain by stepping outside your comfort zone? When you shift your focus from fear to opportunity, you unlock a new level of thinking. You begin to see the risks you take, not as threats but as opportunities to grow and evolve. This mindset shift is essential for anyone who wants to create real change in their life. Of course, taking risks isn't about being reckless. It's about assessing the potential risks and rewards and making an informed decision. Risk-taking is not gambling, it's calculated. Successful risk-takers weigh their options, consider the possible outcomes, and then take action. They don't jump blindly into the unknown, but they're willing to step out of their comfort zone because they've done the work to understand the risks they're taking. Sometimes the biggest risks we need to take are internal. We need to take the risk of changing our mindset, of letting go of limiting beliefs, and of believing in our own potential. These internal risks can be the most difficult to take because they require us to confront our fears, insecurities, and doubts. But once we take those risks, we free ourselves from the chains of self-doubt and open ourselves up to new possibilities. One of the keys to taking calculated risks is understanding that the outcome doesn't define your worth. Whether you succeed or fail, the mere act of taking the risk is an achievement in itself. You've proven to yourself that you're willing to face the unknown and move forward anyway. That's where the growth happens. Even if you don't achieve the outcome you hoped for, you've gained valuable experience and insights that will help you the next time. Success is not always about the outcome. Sometimes it's about the courage to take the step regardless of what happens. It's important to surround yourself with people who support your growth and encourage you to take risks. When you have a network of like-minded individuals who push you to step outside your comfort zone, you're more likely to take those risks with confidence. A supportive community helps to reduce the fear and uncertainty that come with risk-taking. When others believe in you and your ability to succeed, you're more likely to believe in yourself. But you don't need to wait for others to give you permission to take risks. You are the one who holds the power to change your life. It starts with taking ownership of your decisions and having the courage to step into the unknown. The world is full of opportunities for those who are willing to take risks. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about creating your own opportunities through bold, calculated action. Taking risks doesn't just change your life. It transforms you as a person. It builds resilience, teaches you to trust yourself, and pushes you to reach your fullest potential. Each risk you take, no matter how big or small, is a step toward becoming the person you were always meant to be. So embrace the discomfort, face the fear, and take the risks that will change your life forever. You've got everything you need inside you to succeed, and the world is waiting for you to take that first step. Chapter 14. Embrace failure as a learning tool for long-term success. Failure is not the end. It's the beginning of something greater. Every mistake, setback, and obstacle you face holds within it the seed of your next success. If you truly want to grow, to evolve, to reach your highest potential, you must stop fearing failure and start embracing it as your greatest teacher. Failure, far from being something to avoid, is the very thing that forges the strength, wisdom, and resilience you need for long-term success. Without it, you would never know your true limits, and without pushing past those limits, you can never truly achieve greatness. In our society, failure often carries a negative stigma. We are conditioned to think that failure is something shameful, something to hide, something to bury deep down inside. But this mindset is one of the greatest barriers to personal growth. Failure, in reality, is the pathway to mastery. It's how we learn, adapt, and refine our strategies. Without failure, there is no progress, no growth, no breakthrough. Failure reveals what doesn't work so you can focus on what does. It's the feedback loop that the most successful people in the world use to sharpen their skills and achieve their goals. Instead of viewing failure as a setback, see it for what it is, an opportunity to improve, to learn, and to build the resilience you need to reach your fullest potential. When you embrace failure as a learning tool, You change the way you approach challenges. You stop fearing mistakes and start seeing them as stepping stones. The more you fail, the more opportunities you have to grow. It's not the failure itself that matters, but how you respond to it. When you embrace failure, you shift your focus from avoiding it to learning from it. You begin to ask yourself, what did I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? How can I use this experience to become better? These are the questions that will propel you forward. Failure only defeats you when you let it. It's up to you to decide whether you'll rise from it stronger, wiser, and more determined. Consider the most successful people throughout history. Thomas Edison, for example, failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Each failure was simply a step closer to success. Instead of seeing failure as a dead end, Edison saw it as a necessary part of the process. "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work," he famously said. Edison's ability to see failure as a stepping stone rather than a final destination was key to his success. Every failure brought him closer to his ultimate goal, and every failure taught him something valuable. The same mindset applies to you. The more you fail, the more you learn, and the more you learn, the closer you get to your breakthrough. Failure teaches you important lessons about perseverance, adaptability, and humility. It forces you to confront your weaknesses and identify areas for improvement. When you experience failure, you are given a unique opportunity to reflect on your actions, reassess your strategies, and make adjustments. It's through this process of reflection and adaptation that true growth happens. Without failure, you would have no reason to change, to learn, or to push beyond your current capabilities. Failure is what forces you to innovate, to think differently, and to find creative solutions to problems. It sharpens your problem-solving skills and strengthens your resolve. Embracing failure as a learning tool also teaches you resilience. Every time you fall, you have the choice to stay down or to get back up. The most successful people in the world have failed countless times, but what sets them apart is their ability to keep going despite their setbacks. Resilience is not about never failing, it's about continuing to move forward, even in the face of adversity. Failure tests your character. It reveals your determination and your ability to bounce back stronger than before. When you embrace failure, you cultivate the mental toughness necessary to succeed in life. You learn that failure is not an obstacle, it's a catalyst for personal transformation. It's important to note that embracing failure doesn't mean you seek it out or welcome it with open arms. It simply means that you no longer view failure as something to fear or avoid. You understand that it's a natural part of the journey, and you use it as a tool to propel you forward. When you are no longer afraid of failure, you become unstoppable. You are free to take risks, to try new things, and to push yourself beyond what you thought was possible. You understand that every setback is a chance to improve, to adapt, and to grow stronger. It's through this mindset that you will ultimately achieve long-term success. Another powerful aspect of embracing failure is that it helps you build confidence. Many people are afraid of failure because they think it will diminish their self-worth. They fear that failing means they are inadequate or incapable. But in reality, failure is a powerful way to build confidence. Each time you fail and rise again, you prove to yourself that you are capable of handling adversity. You build confidence not by avoiding failure, but by confronting it head-on and learning from it. As you experience more failures and overcome them, you gain the assurance that you can face any challenge that comes your way. You learn that failure is not a reflection of your abilities, but simply a part of the process of becoming who you are meant to be. One of the most important things to remember is that failure is not final. It is not the end of your story, it's simply a chapter in your journey. The only way failure can defeat you is if you allow it to. If you choose to stay stuck in your failures, to dwell on them and let them define you, then they will hold you back. But if you choose to learn from your failures, to use them as fuel for growth, then they become a powerful tool for long-term success. Each failure, no matter how painful, has the potential to propel you forward if you approach it with the right mindset. You don't need to be afraid of failure, you need to embrace it and use it to fuel your journey toward greatness. Failure is a powerful teacher, but it's up to you how you use the lessons it provides. It's easy to get discouraged after a setback, to feel like giving up, or to question your abilities. But it's in those moments of doubt that you must remind yourself of the bigger picture. Every successful person has faced obstacles, setbacks, and failures along the way. What sets them apart is their ability to keep going, to learn from their mistakes, and to never give up. When you embrace failure, you put yourself on the path to success because you stop letting fear control you. You stop seeing failure as something to be avoided and start seeing it as a stepping stone to your greatest achievements. As you move forward on your journey, remember that failure is not something that happens to you, it's something you choose to learn from. When you take responsibility for your failures, you take control of your future. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the creator of your destiny. You stop blaming others for your failures and start taking ownership of your choices. This shift in perspective is one of the most powerful changes you can make. When you take responsibility for your actions and your failures, you empower yourself to make changes and to create the life you truly desire. Failure is not a roadblock, it's a stepping stone. It's not something to avoid, but something to embrace. When you approach failure with the mindset of learning, adapting, and growing, it becomes a powerful tool for long-term success. So the next time you fail, don't be discouraged. Don't see it as a setback, see it as a lesson, a chance to grow, and a step closer to your ultimate success. Your failures don't define you, how you rise from them does. Chapter 15. Surround yourself with people who inspire and challenge you. Your environment is a reflection of who you are, and the people you surround yourself with shape the course of your life more than you realize. If you want to grow, to evolve, to achieve things you never thought possible, you need to surround yourself with people who inspire and challenge you. These people will push you beyond your limits, hold you accountable, and inspire you to reach for things that seem out of your grasp. The company you keep determines the energy you have, the standards you set, and the direction your life will take. If you want to be great, you must be willing to invest in relationships that bring out the best in you. Too often, we settle for relationships that are comfortable, but ultimately limit our growth. We surround ourselves with people who are just like us, who think the same way, who act the same way, and who aren't pushing us to be better. But comfort does not lead to growth. Comfort keeps you stagnant. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone, but nothing extraordinary happens there. If you want to become the person you were meant to be, you must be willing to step outside of what's comfortable. And that starts with the people you surround yourself with. People who inspire and challenge you are those who see the potential in you that you may not even see in yourself. They believe in your ability to succeed, but they also challenge you to be better every single day. They won't let you settle for mediocrity. They will question your assumptions, push you to think differently, and force you to break through the limitations you've set for yourself. They challenge you to rise above your doubts and fears. They hold a mirror up to you and reflect back the greatness they see within you, even when you can't see it for yourself. Having these types of people in your life is vital for your growth. When you surround yourself with people who challenge you, you are forced to confront your weaknesses and improve. You can't help but grow when you are in an environment that constantly pushes you to be better. These people will not let you rest on your laurels. They will keep you motivated, keep you inspired, and most importantly, keep you accountable. Accountability is one of the most powerful tools for growth. When you know someone is watching, someone is rooting for you, and someone is expecting you to show up as your best self, it's hard to ignore that call. You begin to show up, not just for them, but for yourself. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with the wrong people can hold you back in ways you may not even realize. If you are constantly around people who are negative, complacent, or who don't encourage your growth, you will find yourself becoming complacent as well. Negativity is contagious. It's easy to get caught up in the patterns of those around you. If you are constantly surrounded by people who are content with where they are, who are not motivated to improve, you may find that their complacency starts to rub off on you. They may not actively try to hold you back, but they will certainly discourage you from pushing forward. If you're constantly in an environment where people don't push themselves, you'll find it difficult to push yourself either. You must choose your circle wisely. The people you spend your time with will either lift you up or drag you down. There is no middle ground. Your success will always be influenced by the people you allow into your inner circle. If you want to be successful, you need to be around successful people, people who challenge you to be better, people who see your potential and believe in you. They will not only inspire you but also hold you to a higher standard. They won't accept anything less than your best because they know what you're capable of. And when you are surrounded by people who believe in you, it becomes easier for you to believe in yourself. But it's not just about being surrounded by people who believe in you. It's about being around people who challenge your thinking, people who make you question your assumptions and push you out of your comfort zone. Growth happens when you are faced with challenges and forced to think differently. If you are constantly around people who think the same way, you will continue to think the same way. You will never be forced to evolve. The people who challenge your thinking force you to consider new perspectives, new ideas, and new possibilities. They make you question your current beliefs and force you to expand your mind. When you are around people who challenge your thinking, you learn more, you grow more, and you become more. One of the most powerful things about surrounding yourself with people who inspire and challenge you is that they hold you accountable. It's easy to make excuses when you're on your own. It's easy to tell yourself that you'll start tomorrow, that you're too tired, or that the timing isn't right. But when you have people around you who are pushing you to take action, you have no choice but to step up. These people won't let you procrastinate. They won't let you off the hook. They'll hold you to the promises you've made to yourself. Accountability partners are invaluable when it comes to staying focused and committed to your goals. Without them, it's easy to fall into the trap of procrastination and self-doubt. But when you surround yourself with people who challenge you to be better, you begin to see the power of accountability. You start showing up consistently, pushing yourself to be better, and getting closer to your goals every day. However, it's not just about pushing yourself harder. It's also about the energy these people bring into your life. People who inspire and challenge you bring a level of enthusiasm and passion that is contagious. They will spark a fire within you, making you excited about your goals, your dreams, and the future. When you are surrounded by passionate, driven people, you begin to feel that same energy. Their enthusiasm for their own goals fuels your enthusiasm for yours. They remind you of why you're working so hard, why you're sacrificing, and why you're committed to your vision. They give you the energy you need to keep going even when things get tough. The people you surround yourself with will either fuel your fire or extinguish it. Choose wisely. Your environment has a huge impact on your success. If you want to be successful, you need to be around people who inspire you, challenge you, and hold you accountable. They will push you to be your best self and keep you motivated on the path to your goals. Don't settle for mediocre relationships. Seek out those who will challenge you to grow, expand your thinking, and push you beyond your limits. Surround yourself with people who will lift you higher, and you will rise to new heights. Chapter 16. Reflect daily on your progress to stay focused on growth. Every day is an opportunity to grow, but how often do you stop to reflect on how far you've come? Most people are so focused on the next task or the next goal that they forget to pause and assess their progress. Yet, the power of reflection cannot be overstated. When you take the time to reflect daily, you unlock a deeper understanding of your journey and keep your eyes set firmly on growth. You can measure your successes, recognize your weaknesses, and fine-tune your approach so you're always moving forward. Reflection isn't just about looking back and patting yourself on the back. It's about evaluating what worked, what didn't, and how you can do better tomorrow. In the rush of life, it's easy to forget how much you've accomplished. You might feel like you're stuck or not progressing, but when you take a moment to look at the bigger picture, you often realize just how much you've achieved. Reflection allows you to acknowledge those victories, no matter how small they may seem, and reinforces the idea that progress is constant, even on the days that feel less than ideal. The act of reflecting daily helps you sharpen your focus. Without regular reflection, it's easy to lose track of what truly matters. You might get distracted by external circumstances or the overwhelming number of tasks ahead of you. When you take the time to reflect, you remind yourself of your purpose, your goals, and why you started in the first place. This serves as a mental reset, helping you eliminate distractions and stay locked into the tasks that will propel you forward. It's about gaining clarity in the noise, and reflection is your tool for doing that. One of the greatest benefits of daily reflection is the clarity it provides in your decision-making process. Each day is filled with choices, both big and small, and many of them can determine whether you make progress or stall. By reflecting on your actions and decisions, you gain insight into the outcomes of your choices. You begin to see patterns, both positive and negative. Reflection helps you identify what habits are serving you and which ones are holding you back. Once you're aware of those patterns, you can make more informed decisions moving forward, ensuring that your actions align with your long-term goals. But reflection isn't just about looking backward, it's about being present in the moment and using that awareness to shape your future. The act of reviewing your day isn't just an exercise in analyzing what went right or wrong, it's about using those lessons to fuel your next steps. By asking yourself powerful questions like "What did I learn today?" or "How can I improve tomorrow?" you create a continuous feedback loop that accelerates your growth. You're not waiting for external validation or for things to change. You're taking ownership of your progress and actively seeking ways to improve. The key to effective reflection is being honest with yourself. It's easy to gloss over the things you'd rather not acknowledge, but true growth requires self-awareness and honesty. This isn't about beating yourself up for mistakes, but rather understanding them and using them as stepping stones. When you reflect, don't just celebrate the wins, also look at the challenges and failures and ask yourself what you can learn from them. This mindset transforms failure from a setback into a lesson, and suddenly, no experience is wasted. Every moment becomes an opportunity to grow. Daily reflection also helps to build resilience. Life is filled with setbacks, obstacles and challenges, and it's easy to get discouraged when things don't go as planned. But when you take time each day to reflect, you begin to recognize that setbacks are a natural part of the process. You start to see them not as roadblocks, but as growth opportunities. Reflection gives you the space to pause, process what happened, and reassess your approach. It allows you to reset and come back stronger, with a clearer mind and a renewed sense of purpose. Another powerful aspect of daily reflection is that it cultivates gratitude. In the pursuit of our goals, it's easy to focus on what's missing or what's still left to be done. But by taking time to reflect, you remind yourself of what you've already achieved, what you have in your life, and the progress you've made. This shift in perspective helps you appreciate the journey and the small wins along the way. Gratitude is a powerful tool that enhances your mindset, and when you make it a daily practice, you find yourself more content, more motivated, and more at peace with the process. The act of reflecting also keeps you humble. No matter how far you've come, it's important to remember that growth is a continual process. Every day is a chance to improve, and reflection helps you stay grounded in that reality. It prevents you from getting complacent or thinking you've made it. Even when you experience success, reflection reminds you that there's always more to learn, more to experience, and more to achieve. It keeps you hungry for growth and open to new possibilities. Daily reflection is also an essential tool for building long-term success. It provides the structure you need to make gradual, consistent progress. Success is rarely the result of one big decision or a single breakthrough. It's the sum of small, intentional actions over time. By reflecting on your daily progress, you ensure that you're making those small steps consistently. You make course corrections when needed and reinforce the habits that are working. As you continue this process day in and day out, you're stacking up those small wins and ultimately building a life of success. It's also crucial to remember that reflection isn't just a solitary activity. It can be enhanced by sharing your thoughts with others. If you have a mentor, coach, or accountability partner, engaging in reflective conversations can provide you with new insights and perspectives. Sometimes, another person's view can help you see things you might have missed, or offer a solution you hadn't considered. This dialogue fosters growth, as it exposes you to different viewpoints and broadens your understanding. While reflection is deeply personal, it can be amplified by the support and wisdom of others. Incorporating reflection into your daily routine is simple but powerful. You don't need hours to reflect. Just a few minutes of quiet time at the end of your day can provide immense value. Take a few moments to review your actions, thoughts, and experiences. Ask yourself what went well and what didn't, and use that insight to make adjustments. Whether you write in a journal, meditate, or simply sit in silence, the practice of daily reflection creates a habit of mindfulness. It fosters an awareness of your progress and keeps you connected to your long-term vision. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by accident. They've built their success by consistently evaluating their progress, learning from their mistakes, and making improvements each day. Reflection is one of the most powerful tools in their toolbox because it helps them stay focused on growth, adjust when needed, and stay motivated in the face of challenges. If you want to achieve long-term success, it's essential to make reflection a daily habit. When you reflect on your progress, you gain the clarity, motivation, and insights needed to keep moving forward on your journey of growth. Chapter 17. Stay disciplined even when motivation starts to fade. The real secret to success isn't found in the moments when you feel unstoppable. It's in the moments when your motivation begins to fade, and you choose to stay disciplined anyway. Motivation is powerful, no doubt, but it's fleeting. Discipline, on the other hand, is a constant. It's the quiet force that drives you forward when motivation is no longer there to fuel you. And the truth is, most of your progress will come in the moments when you have to rely on discipline rather than motivation to keep going. When you begin any journey, whether it's working toward a personal goal, building a career, or creating a new habit, there's an initial surge of motivation. You're excited, energized, ready to take on the world. But as time passes, that initial enthusiasm starts to wear off. Life gets in the way, challenges arise, you face setbacks, and suddenly, the motivation that once seemed so powerful starts to feel distant. It's in these moments that discipline becomes the deciding factor between success and failure. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's about showing up for yourself, no matter the circumstances. While motivation may get you started, it's discipline that keeps you going, even when it feels like everything else is pulling you in the opposite direction. When motivation fades, discipline steps in to ensure that you continue to move forward, one small step at a time. It's easy to stay motivated when everything is going well, but the true test of your character comes when things aren't going according to plan. Life doesn't always unfold in a straight line. There are highs and lows, twists and turns. The most successful people aren't those who have been constantly motivated. They're the ones who learn to stay disciplined through the ups and downs. They've figured out that success doesn't rely on constant motivation, but rather on consistent effort. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that motivation is the key to achieving their goals. They wait for that perfect moment when everything aligns, when they feel inspired to take action. But this mindset sets them up for disappointment because motivation is never constant. The truth is, if you wait for motivation to strike every time you need to take action, you will never make consistent progress. Instead, you need to cultivate discipline. Discipline isn't about forcing yourself to do something you hate. It's about creating routines, habits and structures that make it easier to keep going, even when you don't feel like it. It's about having a plan in place that you follow, even on the days when your energy is low or your motivation is gone. The key to staying disciplined is to have systems in place that support you, no matter how you're feeling in the moment. When motivation fades, it's important to remind yourself of your bigger vision. Motivation is tied to emotions, which are inherently unreliable. You can't trust your emotions to carry you through the tough days. Instead, focus on your why, the reason you started in the first place. Your vision, your purpose, and your long-term goals should be the anchor that keeps you grounded, even when motivation starts to slip away. Discipline comes from knowing that your goals are bigger than your temporary feelings. It's about recognizing that the work you're doing today will pay off tomorrow, even when the going gets tough. Another critical aspect of staying disciplined is building momentum. The first step is always the hardest, especially when you're not feeling motivated. But once you start, even with small actions, you begin to build momentum. Discipline is a muscle, and the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Even if you don't feel like doing something, taking one small action is often enough to create the momentum you need to keep going. It's about breaking tasks down into manageable steps so you can stay disciplined, even on the days when motivation is nowhere to be found. Staying disciplined is also about setting realistic expectations for yourself. Too often, people set goals that are unrealistic or set themselves up for failure by trying to do too much at once. This can lead to frustration and burnout. Instead, focus on the long-term journey and create realistic, sustainable goals that you can commit to, even when motivation is low. Small, consistent actions are far more effective than massive bursts of effort that burn you out. Another key component of discipline is creating an environment that supports your efforts. The people you surround yourself with, the spaces you work in, and the habits you build all influence your ability to stay disciplined. If your environment is filled with distractions, it will be much harder to stay focused on your goals. On the other hand, if you create an environment that fosters productivity and encourages discipline, it becomes much easier to stay on track, even when motivation is lacking. It's also important to understand that setbacks are a natural part of the process. No journey is smooth, and you will face challenges along the way. When motivation fades, it's easy to get discouraged by these obstacles. But discipline allows you to face setbacks with resilience. Instead of giving up or getting frustrated, discipline helps you stay focused on the long-term goal, regardless of temporary setbacks. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow and become stronger, and discipline helps you embrace these challenges rather than shy away from them. As you work on developing discipline, it's essential to give yourself grace. There will be days when you slip up or miss a step, and that's okay. The key is not to let these mistakes derail your progress. Instead of beating yourself up, use those moments as learning opportunities. Understand that discipline isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. It's about showing up, day in and day out, even when things aren't perfect. Discipline is about making progress, not being perfect. One of the most powerful tools for staying disciplined is accountability. When you have someone who is holding you accountable, whether it's a mentor, a coach, or a friend, it becomes much harder to let your motivation slip away. Accountability provides structure and reinforces your commitment to your goals. It's much easier to stay disciplined when you know someone else is relying on you to follow through. Discipline also requires a shift in mindset. Instead of thinking of discipline as something restrictive or difficult, start seeing it as a way to free yourself. When you cultivate discipline, you create the structure and habits that allow you to focus on what matters most. Discipline isn't about limiting your freedom. It's about giving yourself the freedom to achieve your goals. It's about creating the conditions that allow you to succeed, regardless of how motivated you feel in the moment. Ultimately, staying disciplined is the key to long-term success. Motivation will always come and go, but discipline is the foundation upon which you can build lasting achievement. When you choose to stay disciplined, even when motivation fades, you are demonstrating your commitment to your goals, your vision, and your future. You are showing that you are willing to do what it takes, even when it's hard, because you know that every step you take, no matter how small, is moving you closer to where you want to be. In the end, it's not the moments of motivation that matter most. It's the moments when you keep going, even when you don't feel like it. It's when you rely on your discipline to push you forward, no matter what. And when you do that, you will find that success isn't just a destination, it's a journey, one that you are fully equipped to travel, no matter the challenges that come your way. Chapter 18. Push your limits daily to unlock your full potential. You are not limited by what you believe you can do. The truth is, your potential is boundless, but it's only unlocked by pushing beyond the boundaries you've set for yourself. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. It happens when you challenge yourself, stretch your limits, and refuse to settle for anything less than your absolute best. Every day presents an opportunity to test your potential. Every action, no matter how small, is a chance to get one step closer to greatness. The question is, will you take it? We all have untapped potential waiting within us. The only difference between those who reach it and those who don't is the willingness to push their limits. It's the difference between staying stuck in familiar routines and taking that bold step forward into the unknown. Every day you have the chance to stretch those boundaries, to challenge your mind and body in ways that you never have before. And every time you do, you break free from what you thought were your limitations. Most people stop growing because they convince themselves that they've reached their peak, that this is as far as they can go. They settle for comfort, for what feels easy and familiar. But comfort is the enemy of growth. When you stop pushing, when you stop challenging yourself, that's when your progress stagnates. You become stuck in a cycle of mediocrity, always wondering what more you could achieve, but never truly going after it. The truth is, we are all capable of far more than we realize, but it requires a constant effort to push ourselves beyond what feels comfortable. To unlock your full potential, you need to stop accepting your current limitations as permanent. Every limit you think you have is just a mental block, a self-imposed barrier. It's a product of your thinking, not your reality. The key to breaking through those barriers is to push yourself a little bit further each day, to keep expanding what you believe you are capable of. If you never stretch your limits, you'll never know how far you can go. Each time you push yourself beyond your comfort zone, you learn something new about yourself. You uncover strengths you didn't know you had, and you build resilience in the process. It's in those moments of struggle and discomfort that real growth happens. It's easy to grow when things are easy, but it's in the face of adversity that your true potential shines. When you push through challenges, you discover how much more you're capable of. And each time you succeed, no matter how small the success, you build confidence in your ability to achieve even more. But pushing your limits isn't just about physical challenges, it's about mental and emotional growth as well. It's about pushing yourself to think bigger, to take risks, to step out of your comfort zone in every aspect of your life. The moment you stop challenging yourself mentally is the moment your growth stops. You may not realize it, but you're constantly faced with opportunities to grow in all areas of life, whether it's in your career, your relationships, or your personal development. But none of that growth will happen unless you are willing to push yourself beyond what you think you can handle. This requires discipline and consistency. Pushing your limits isn't about taking a single leap and hoping for the best. It's about committing to a daily practice of pushing yourself just a little bit more, every single day. Whether it's waking up earlier, tackling a difficult task, or taking on a new challenge, it's about making the conscious choice to step outside of what feels comfortable. The more you do this, the more you build the habit of pushing your limits. And as this becomes a part of who you are, you'll find yourself reaching new heights that you never thought possible. The fear of failure often holds people back from pushing their limits. They are afraid of making mistakes or falling short of their expectations. But failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a part of the process. Every time you fail, you learn. Every time you fall short, you get one step closer to reaching your full potential. Failure teaches you resilience. It teaches you to get back up, to try again, and to keep moving forward. Without failure, there is no growth. Without failure, there is no progress. So don't be afraid to fail. Embrace it as a necessary part of the journey. There will be days when it feels too hard to keep going, when you question whether it's worth it to push any further. On those days, remind yourself of the bigger picture. You are working towards something greater than today's discomfort. Every time you push your limits, you are expanding your capabilities and setting yourself up for future success. The person you are today is not the person you will be tomorrow, but only if you push yourself to grow every day. Start small. Don't expect to achieve everything at once. The key to unlocking your potential is consistency. Take daily actions, no matter how small, that challenge you to grow. And as you continue to push, those small actions will compound and lead to massive results. In time, you will look back and realize just how far you've come, and you will be amazed at what you've accomplished. It's important to recognize that pushing your limits doesn't mean pushing yourself to the point of burnout. It's not about overloading yourself or setting unrealistic expectations. It's about challenging yourself in a sustainable way that allows you to grow without sacrificing your well-being. Pushing your limits should make you stronger, not weaker. It should empower you, not drain you. So listen to your body and mind, and make sure that you are taking care of yourself along the way. Remember, growth happens when you move beyond what feels safe and easy. It happens when you stretch yourself in ways that scare you or make you uncomfortable. If you want to unlock your full potential, you must be willing to step into the unknown, to embrace discomfort, and to keep pushing forward, even when it feels like you're not making progress. Because progress isn't always immediate, but it's always happening as long as you keep moving. The road to unlocking your full potential isn't a straight line. It's a journey full of twists, turns, and obstacles. But each time you push past those obstacles, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. Keep pushing your limits, and you will discover a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and more capable than you ever imagined. Your potential is limitless, but it can only be unlocked if you are willing to put in the work. So go ahead, push your limits every single day, and watch yourself transform into the person you were always meant to be. Chapter 19. Learn to manage your time effectively for maximum impact. Time is the most precious resource you have, and every second you waste is an opportunity lost to someone who is taking action and making progress. If you want to unlock your full potential, you have to learn how to manage your time effectively. Every moment counts. How you choose to spend your time today will determine the results you get tomorrow. Time waits for no one, and the longer you wait to take control of it, the further you drift from your goals and dreams. So the question is, are you truly in control of your time, or is it slipping away unnoticed? Time management is not just about organizing your day. It's about prioritizing what truly matters and cutting out everything that doesn't. It's about making deliberate choices that align with your bigger vision. Without time management, you're like a ship drifting aimlessly at sea. There's no clear destination, no direction. But when you take control of your time, you're steering your ship toward your goals, one deliberate action at a time. Every step you take is a step closer to the life you want to create. You cannot afford to be passive with your time. You must be intentional, strategic, and proactive. To manage your time effectively, the first step is to acknowledge the power of focus. When you're scattered, when you're trying to do everything at once, nothing gets done with true impact. It's like throwing a handful of darts at a dartboard. Some might hit the target, but most will miss. But when you focus your energy on a single goal, everything changes. You become laser-focused on what matters most, and the results you achieve are far greater. Every action you take should serve the goal you've set for yourself, and that means saying no to distractions, to anything that diverts your attention from your purpose. The next critical element of time management is prioritization. Not all tasks are created equal. You have to understand that your time is finite, so it's essential to allocate your energy and attention to the activities that yield the greatest return. This means identifying your highest value tasks, those actions that directly move you toward your goals, and giving them the attention they deserve. It also means letting go of tasks that drain your energy and don't contribute to your long-term success. Time management is about being ruthless with your priorities, even if it means letting go of things you enjoy or feel obligated to do. We live in a world filled with distractions, from social media to constant notifications. It's easier than ever to lose focus and waste precious hours. You can't let these distractions dictate how you spend your time. If you want to succeed, you must learn how to eliminate distractions and create an environment where your focus can thrive. Set boundaries, turn off notifications, establish clear, uninterrupted work time. Protect your time like it's a valuable asset, because quite frankly it is. The more you protect your time, the more productive you'll become. When you eliminate distractions, you create the space needed to do deep, meaningful work. And it's that kind of work that leads to extraordinary results. But time management isn't just about protecting your time, it's also about planning for it. Every successful person plans their day. They know what they need to accomplish and when. Planning your day is one of the most powerful things you can do for your productivity. When you wake up each morning with a clear plan of action, you're not wasting time wondering what to do next. You're already in motion, executing the plan you've set for yourself. But planning isn't just about scheduling tasks, it's about creating a roadmap for your success. It's about ensuring that your daily actions align with your long-term vision. To take your time management skills to the next level, you must learn to work in focused blocks of time. The Pomodoro technique is a great example of this, working in short bursts of intense focus followed by a brief break. This method works because it leverages the brain's natural rhythm, your ability to focus for a set period and then rest to recharge. The more focused you are, the more productive you become. And when you take breaks, you give yourself the opportunity to refuel and come back stronger. These short, intense bursts of focus are far more effective than trying to push through hours of unfocused, distracted work. By managing your time in chunks, you avoid burnout and ensure that your productivity is sustainable over the long term. Now it's important to address the trap of perfectionism. Many people fall into the trap of overthinking or overanalyzing every decision, trying to make everything perfect before taking action. Perfectionism can paralyze you. It prevents you from moving forward because you're constantly waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect solution. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. There's only right now. The best thing you can do is take imperfect action. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. When you focus on progress rather than perfection, you break free from the cycle of procrastination and make real strides toward your goals. You also need to learn to say no to the right things. Time is your most valuable asset, and it's essential to protect it fiercely. You can't say yes to every opportunity or every request that comes your way. Sometimes, saying no is the best thing you can do for your time, your focus, and your long-term success. Saying no isn't selfish, it's necessary. It allows you to prioritize what truly matters and avoid distractions that would otherwise drain your energy. It's about being intentional with your time, about ensuring that you're investing it in the activities that will bring you the most growth and fulfillment. Another powerful tool for time management is reflection. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on what you accomplished. What went well? What didn't? Where can you improve? Reflection helps you stay on track and adjust your approach when necessary. It's also an opportunity to celebrate the wins, no matter how small. Recognizing your progress keeps you motivated and focused on the bigger picture. When you regularly reflect on your time management, you become more aware of how you're using your time, and that awareness is key to making continuous improvements. Effective time management also means taking care of yourself. You can't be productive if you're burned out, overwhelmed, or physically drained. Time management isn't just about cramming as much as possible into your day. It's about creating balance. This means scheduling time for rest, recovery, and self-care. When you take care of your body and mind, you improve your ability to focus, make decisions, and manage your time more effectively. Remember, you're not a machine. You need to recharge, and when you do, you'll come back stronger and more productive. The reality is, you have the same 24 hours in a day as everyone else. The only difference between successful people and those who struggle is how they manage their time. Time is a resource, and like any resource, it must be used wisely. The more effectively you manage your time, the more you will accomplish. You'll be able to take on bigger challenges, create more value, and live a life that aligns with your true potential. So, start today. Take control of your time, protect it fiercely, and use it wisely. The success you desire is not a matter of luck. It's a matter of how you manage your time. Every minute counts. Chapter 20. Trust the process and stay patient through the journey. The road to success isn't always a straight line, but it's the journey that shapes us. The challenges, the setbacks, and the moments where we feel like giving up, all of these are part of the process. The question is, will you stay patient and trust the journey, even when the results aren't immediately visible? It's easy to want instant gratification, to expect success to come quickly and effortlessly, but true growth is gradual, and patience is the key to reaching the destination that's meant for you. Trusting the process requires faith in your ability to overcome obstacles and grow stronger. It means knowing that every step, no matter how small, is getting you closer to the person you're meant to become. There will be days when it feels like nothing is moving forward, but that's when you have to dig deep and remind yourself that growth doesn't happen overnight. The seed doesn't sprout immediately when you plant it. It takes time for the roots to grow deep before the plant can push through the soil and begin to thrive. Your progress works in much the same way. Trust the process and believe that even when you can't see the results right now, they are unfolding behind the scenes. The power of patience is often underestimated. In a world that thrives on speed and instant results, it's easy to forget that some of the most meaningful achievements take time. Every great accomplishment in history took years of dedication, hard work, and persistence. The people who achieved extraordinary things didn't give up because the results weren't immediate. They stayed the course, kept moving forward, and trusted the journey. They understood that success isn't just about the destination, it's about the person you become in the process. Patience is not about passively waiting for something to happen, it's about taking consistent action, regardless of how long it takes to see results. One of the most important things you can do is detach yourself from the outcome. When you focus solely on the end result, it's easy to get discouraged when things aren't progressing as quickly as you'd like. But when you trust the process, you allow yourself to let go of the need for instant validation. You focus on the daily actions and decisions that are aligned with your goals, without obsessing over the immediate payoff. By trusting that your efforts are contributing to your growth, even if you can't see it right away, you build resilience. The process itself becomes as important as the outcome. The skills, discipline, and lessons you learn along the way are what prepare you for the success you desire. There will be moments when doubt creeps in. It's natural to question whether your efforts are paying off, especially when it feels like you're not getting any closer to your goals. But this is where the magic happens. Staying patient and continuing to trust the process, even in the face of uncertainty, is what separates the winners from the quitters. The most successful people are the ones who keep going when things are tough. They understand that setbacks aren't failures, they are part of the learning curve. Every challenge you face teaches you something valuable. Every obstacle is an opportunity to grow stronger, smarter, and more capable. In those moments when the journey feels long and you question whether you're making progress, remember this: you are. Every step you take, even the small ones, is a step in the right direction. You might not see the results yet, but your growth is happening. The person you were yesterday is not the person you are today. And the person you are today will be unrecognizable in a year if you continue to trust the process and stay patient. Trust that the work you're putting in now is laying the foundation for the future you're creating. You might not see it, but it's all coming together, piece by piece. Patience doesn't mean inactivity. It means persistence. It means continuing to move forward, even when the results are not immediate. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and trusting that the effort you're putting in today will pay off tomorrow. It's also about taking a step back and acknowledging that not everything is in your control. There are external factors, timing, opportunities, circumstances that can affect the outcome. What you can control is your attitude, your mindset, and your actions. Stay committed to the process, regardless of the external factors. Trust that the right opportunities will come at the right time, and that your preparation will meet those opportunities when they arrive. A key part of this journey is learning to embrace uncertainty. We often want to know exactly how things will turn out, but the truth is, no one knows. There's always a level of uncertainty in any process, whether you're building a business, pursuing a dream, or improving yourself. The best thing you can do is embrace the unknown, trust the process, and keep taking the next step, even when the path ahead isn't clear. It's in these moments of uncertainty that you find your greatest strength. It's in the unknown that you grow the most, because it forces you to take risks, to try new things, and to learn from every experience. Uncertainty is not something to fear, it's something to embrace. It's a sign that you're stepping outside your comfort zone, and that's where real growth happens. It's also important to recognize that setbacks are not the end of the journey, they are part of it. When you encounter obstacles or failures, it's easy to think that you're off course. But the truth is, these challenges are exactly what you need to move forward. They teach you resilience, they push you to develop new strategies, and they help you refine your goals. Every setback you experience is an opportunity to reassess, reframe, and come back stronger. Trust that the setbacks are shaping you, preparing you, and teaching you the lessons you need to keep going. So when you feel like giving up, when the results are taking longer than you expected, or when the road ahead seems uncertain, remember this: trust the process. Trust that every action you take, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your goals. Stay patient, keep your focus, and believe that the results will come when the time is right. The journey is just as important as the destination, and the person you become along the way is the true measure of success. The greatest successes in life are rarely the ones that come quickly or easily. They are the ones that are built over time, through consistent effort, learning from mistakes, and persevering through adversity. Trusting the process is about understanding